Warner Park is only in its 4th season, but it's quickly become an incredible home field advantage for the Omaha Storm Chasers. Fittingly enough, the New Orleans Zephyrs have blown into town. We're in the hometown of one of the game's all-time greats, Bob Gibson, for the minor league baseball game of the week on the CBS Sports Network. Omaha, Nebraska, known as the gateway to the west. Beautiful summer evening here, and the gates are wide open here at Warner Park, where fans are pouring in to see their favorite AAA team. It's the Storm Chasers playing host to the New Orleans Zephyrs on tonight's CBS Game of the Week. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dick Gabriel, along with former big league infielder Doug Flynn. Lauren Gardner will be joining us. Doug, two teams that are right in the race in the Pacific Coast League.
They really are. Both of them have outstanding teams, and it's really hard to compete at this level when every day they're sending players up, but they've done a good job of hanging on.
Omaha in first place in the Northern Division, Iowa right on the heels, so is Oklahoma City. And over in the South, all 4 teams in the division are still in the hunt, including these New Orleans Zephyrs. One of the reasons, both teams strong pitching, and we'll see good pitching tonight.
Yeah, we got a lefty and a righty. Left-hander Andrew Haney's done a great job, got off to a good start, spent some time up in the big leagues trying to get back to that form that got him to the big leagues.
And for Omaha, a young man who joined the team late last year, helped win a championship, back again.
That's right. Clayton Mortenson's an outstanding pitcher, 4-0 record. He's second in the PCL in ERA. You can depend upon him each night to have a good outing, so should be a good pitcher's duel tonight.
Every night at the ballpark is special, but tonight here in Omaha, they will recognize a special man. And to tell us more about him, let's go down to Lauren.
Yes, Dick, a special man that after 36 years in the minors as a player, coach, and manager has joined the Kansas City Royals coaching staff this past offseason. Now, the former Storm Chasers manager led Omaha to 2 PCL championships and a AAA championship this past year, but what's more impressive are the 995 wins he accumulated with 2 stints here in Omaha. They're honoring him with a jersey retirement presentation just behind me on the field. They're also passing out these Mike Dershowitz bobbleheads, and take a look at this. Be Like Mike t-shirts, and he joked earlier today saying the only reason they're retiring my jersey is so that I don't come back. So guys, the only way you can get your bobblehead is if you accumulate 995 wins. How hard can that be?
Well, Mike Dershowitz made it look easy, but he certainly paid his dues. He finally made it to the big leagues. It's a special night for him tonight. Back with more in just a minute. Minor League Baseball Game of the Week on the CBS Sports Network. Warner Park in Omaha, Nebraska. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. Glad to have you with us on the CBS Sports Network Minor League Game of the Week. Beautiful evening in Nebraska, unseasonably cool, a little breezy, and a great night for baseball. Great crowd on hand as always here at Warner Park. The Storm Chasers taking on the New Orleans Zephyrs. Clayton Mortensen on the bump. And we are underway. Here's the way New Orleans will come to the plate tonight. That's Jake Marisnick leading things off. Reigning Pacific Coast League Player of the Week. Mark Canna in the lineup. Batting cleanup tonight. Tied for the PCL lead in base hits. Down there in the 8-hole, Kyle Skipworth on a 6-game hitting streak. And they're facing a talented young man on the bump, the right-hander for Omaha, Clayton Mortensen. Doug, that's why they like him so much. He can move it around. Not a hard thrower.
No, he's not overpowering, but he does have good command of all of his pitches, and we said he's been on a pretty good roll as of late.
Joined the team last year late, helped them win the AAA National Championship. Had been up with Boston for a while last year, so he actually won 2 championship rings. Got a World Series ring from the Red Sox and a national championship ring at the AAA level from the Storm Chasers. And look at the walks right there in 38 innings. That's one of the things that has really sustained him. Been up with 4 big league clubs. Just trying to find the right spot.
Yeah, both of these pitchers looking to get that form that got them to the big leagues, and down here trying to get sharp again, ready to be called up. Each time they've gone up, they've had 1 or 2 good outings, but then the rest of it hasn't been too good.
You'll see Andrew Haney, a left-hander for New Orleans. Crowd not crazy about the check swing for
But of
Jake
course not.
Marisnick. Oh, just barely. Although I contend that every replay makes a batter look guilty.
That's true. And since they started doing those replays, they normally call them out.
They'll do 3-2 again as Marisnick well out ahead of it.
Boy, this is a good-looking player here. Big player, 6'3", can run, play center field, gets good jumps on the baseball. And as you said, the reigning PCL Player of the Week.
Game-winning double Sunday as New Orleans wrapped up play prior to the All-Star break, and Francisco Pena just can't quite hang on.
Pena walking around a little bit, a very familiar name in the baseball world. Following in Papa's footsteps, who was an outstanding catcher, and he's going to have to be looked at, it looks like, walking over now to the dugout to maybe have the trainer take a look at him.
I mentioned Marisnick is the Player of the Week in the PCL. New Orleans also claiming the Pitcher of the Week. Take another look at what happens to Mr. Pena. Oh, right into the chin.
I tell you, got to protect. Wow. He's got a guard there, but with the ball coming that speed, may have brought a little blood, as we can see. Put a little Band-Aid on it. Got that contagious smile that his daddy has.
Let's take a look at the rest of Pena's teammates as they play defense. Speedy Whit Merrifield in left, Paulo Orlando in center field, Justin Maxwell over in right. Around the horn, Johnny Giavotella, Paul Yanish, a veteran of the major leagues, Christian Colon at second, and Brian Bocock is at first base. All defensive Clayton Mortensen.
Yeah, but you can see a little blood there, trying to get it to stop.
Mentioned Mortensen helping this team win a championship. Omaha knocked off Durham in a AAA national championship game. That came after a sweep of Oklahoma City in the American Conference Series final. Then won the PCL title by taking 3 out of 4 games from Salt Lake City for winning the championship. And as one of the players and one of the broadcasters told me as well here in Omaha, he said this ballpark, since we moved in, we've done nothing but win. We're talking to Brett Pollock, one of the fine Omaha broadcasters, and he said, I don't know what it is. He said it's just a better atmosphere. And Mark Nasser, his broadcast partner, told me the same thing. He said, you know, the clubhouse is so much better, and they love Rosenblatt Stadium, which was just a real landmark here in Omaha for so many years, but they just outgrew it. It just was time for a new stadium. They built one out here a little bit of ways from downtown, but as you can see, it's a gorgeous facility, and the team has just responded with winning season after winning season, a lot of championships.
I'm a little surprised they haven't brought a catcher out. Let Mortensen throw some to him while he's just wandering around out behind the mound. They're taking care of Pena's chin. Look like putting a Band-Aid on it. Keep the blood from dripping down. Now he's ready to go. So,
and the fans appreciate his toughness.
Well, it's a TV game. You know you don't want to come out tonight. On a special night with a lot of activities going on here at the ballpark. And we'll get into that a little bit later.
So Marisnick with an extra long at-bat. It is still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hit safely in all 7 games he played in last week. But he'll have to wait for his first base hit tonight. Good start for Mortensen.
Boy, he came back with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Good pitch to hit. And you can see that he knows he got him a good fastball right there. A little frustrated with himself.
Now Yordan Valdespin out of the Dominican Republic. Signed originally by the New York Mets, non-drafted free agent back in '07. Had a big year in 2011 for the Mets. In their system, 17 home runs. Drove in 60. Stole 37 bases in the minor league system
You know what we're seeing from both of these teams is a lot of kids that have been up and down and had some opportunities to go up when some guys got hurt, but not able to stick up there as of right now.
Forcing Mortensen to field his position. The bunt just a little too close to the mound. 2 out. Not a bad thought if you can push it past the pitcher.
Either that or bring it so your first baseman's got to come over and get it that time just a little too close to the mound. Makes for a nice, easy play for the pitcher.
Now Juan Diaz, the shortstop. Another left-handed hitter. Diaz from the Dominican Republic. Spent last year with Columbus. 6'4", 200 pounds. Kind of tall for a shortstop. We've seen a lot of tall infielders in our travels this year.
A lot of tall shortstops, that's for sure. You know, it started, I guess, back when Cal Ripken and moved over from third base, and he wasn't real happy about it in the beginning, but did a decent job there, I'd say.
Not bad. Diaz signing as a non-drafted free agent with the Mariners in 06. Spent some time with the Indians. Drilled to right field. Maxwell runs it down in the corner. And a double for Juan Diaz with 2 outs.
You're absolutely correct when you say drilled to right field. I mean, he takes this ball and just hammers it down the line. It's going to be an easy double. Maxwell does a good job of getting over and just trying to make the play and getting it in, but good swing right there.
Had a chance to extend those arms and pull it down the line.
Kind of hesitated around first base, but I don't think there was much doubt that was going to be a double.
So now the cleanup hitter, Mark Canna.
You know, Dick, this might be 2 of the bigger teams we've seen. They got some hosses on both sides. Wait till you see Fields when he comes to the plate.
This one's hammered as well, but in his tracks, Orlando. And there are 3 outs. Well, New Orleans puts a runner in scoring position, but that's where he remains. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Score Omaha on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Omaha, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. Glad to have you along the minor league baseball game of the week here on the CBS Sports Network. This is the way Omaha will come to the plate tonight against these New Orleans Zephyrs. Whit Merrifield will lead things off since June 7th. 50 base hits here for Omaha. The cleanup man, Matt Fields, with 18 home runs. And his teammate down in the order, Francisco Pena, also with 18. In fact, Pena finishing second in the AAA home run derby. So lots of power in this Omaha lineup. And the man who will try to blunt that power is on the hill for New Orleans, and that's left-hander Andrew Haney. As Doug mentioned, a guy that they believe is a big league prospect. He's coming off his first loss. That came Saturday against Memphis. Gave up 5 runs on 6 hits in just 4 innings. But prior to that, he had won each of his last 3 starts. And in fact, already has spent some time up in the bigs with the Marlins. Made 4 starts in Miami. Struggled a bit. Gave up 15 earned runs in 20 innings. Sent back down on July 5th. But since then, 27 innings, 31 strikeouts, and only 3 walks.
And he's going against a ball club that has one philosophy. We're swinging the bats, period. Talked with hitting coach Tommy Gregg today, who had a great career and played 10+ years in the major leagues with several teams.
Welcome to Omaha, Nebraska. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. Glad to have you along with the minor league baseball game of the week. The Omaha Storm Chasers and the New Orleans Zephyrs. No score here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 outstanding pitchers going at it. And Andrew Haney, the left-hander for New Orleans, facing Whit Merrifield, former South Carolina Gamecock.
How about that average, 370? But this team will swing the bat. And Tommy Gregg says, if it's over the plate, we better be hacking, and if it's not, take a walk. There's no in between.
He's hacking at that one. That's a base hit. Merrifield making his bid for Major League time. Drafted by the Royals in the 9th round in 2010.
Got an off-speed pitch, went down and hit it. Keeps those hands back. As you said, you've seen him a lot. That's just a good pitch. It's going to hit the ground. Even though he's out in front just a little bit, the hands stay back, and he's able to drive the ball to left field.
Warner Park is the new home for the Storm Chasers. Rosenblatt Stadium is where they used to play, and that's where the College World Series used to be. And Whit Merrifield had the last base hit in the College World Series in Rosenblatt. As we get a good look at Christian Colon. And that base hit by Merrifield was the game winner over UCLA. Not a bad way to end your college career.
Not at all. Boy, it brings back a lot of memories, that ballpark. I played softball in it and baseball in it.
Let's go downstairs to Lauren Gardner. Lauren.
Well, you guys, you spoke about MLB's top pitching prospect this year, Andrew Haney, who's on the bump tonight. The left-hander has really made some progress after he spent those games up in Miami, and I was able to speak with their skipper, Andy Haynes, about him. He said tonight they don't have a particular pitch count in mind. The organization is not really picky about that, but he says, you know, he pitches comfortably in the low 90s. He's not really a max effort type of guy, but he can crank it up when he needs to. What he really likes about him is his slider and his changeup. He loves the way that he can move the ball, get some movement on it, as well as change up his velocity.
Lauren, did you help the skipper with a pitch count, give him something to be thinking about?
You know, I told him that last week we had a guy throw 120 in a no-no. He wasn't so sure he'd go that far.
A girl.
They actually threw 120 plus last week. They had to get permission for him to finish the game because the pitch count would bump from 80 to 120 when the pitching coordinator for South Bend for the Diamondbacks realized that Blaine Weller had a no-hitter going. And they had to get special permission to let him face the last batter. Fortunately for him, he hit a comebacker and had his no-hitter.
I like our girl. She's down there working those.
She's on top of it. Haney well ahead in the count, trying to keep Whit Merrifield close. Haney entered the year as MLB.com's left-handed pitching prospect. Top pitching prospect from the left side. There's lots of foul ground here, but that means lots more to cover. Storm Chasers just couldn't quite catch up. Bocock and Maxwell coming in from right field.
Boy, Christian Colon doing a good job of trying to hit the ball the other way right now, though. He's got a couple of pitches, got a big hole over between first and second, trying to advance that runner, just what you'd want your number 2 hitter to do.
They play Colon to go the other way, slightly in center field, as you can see. Marisnik shifted just over. Ran it in on him.
Boy, good pitch right there.
So now 1 out.
You can see him, he throws a good sharp breaking ball, throws it towards that back foot. Looks like a strike until you get ready to swing, and just a very good out pitch.
Now Johnny Giavotella, number 3 hitter, playing third base tonight. Good numbers for Giavotella as well. Lots of foul ground here. I don't know that it's quite as big as what we saw in Pawtucket, the first broadcast we did, but there you can see a lot of foul ground to negotiate. That can be the pitcher's best friend.
A little later, we're going to talk about this right field fence, too.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge. I don't believe I've ever seen one like it in all of baseball. We'll get to that at some point in time tonight, but very unique.
Each ballpark we've been fortunate enough to visit with their own characteristics, of course. Off the end of the bat, foul ground, and Zach Cox will flip it away. Beg your pardon, Rodriguez.
You know, I'm still getting used to the 16 teams in the PCL. There's 4 divisions, so that means there's a lot of travel that goes on. We talked a little bit to some of the coaches today and the players about some of the travel where they've had to fly into, and I hear that some of the weather in Dallas has kept a few games from being played tonight, or at least one. But there's a lot of travel in this league.
Some pop in the mitt of Skipworth off the left arm of Andrew Haney.
Boy, he was right when he said it's just easy motion,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden the ball's on top of you.
Once again ran it in on a right-hander. One, two. Off speed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tried to come back with the same pitch that he struck out Cologne on. I know it's early in the ball game, but we've been sitting here smelling that popcorn for
man.
about 2 hours, and
I
it
think
smells so good.
Making it right downstairs. Giavitelli from Metairie, Louisiana. Played at the University of New Orleans. And he just missing the inside edge. Second round draft pick in 08.
Wonder what kind of little deal Lauren is going to be talking about
She'll
this
be visiting
evening.
the concession stand as always.
And we understand they have an excellent, excellent
Selection.
Well, that was what I was looking for. I'm sorry. I went Mel Tillis on us for a second. My fault.
All the ballparks now specialize, have something that they love to brag about on the concession stand. Runner goes. Justin Maxwell squeezes. 2 out. Here's the way New Orleans playing defense. We mentioned Whit Merrifield in left. Marisnik in center. Justin Maxwell already a busy man in right. And around the horn, Diaz, I beg your pardon, Kyle Jensen in right. Valdespin at second base. Mark Canick, Kyle Skipworth.
And Marisnik, they say, is really fun to watch. Got outstanding speed, gets a jump on practically every ball, and has had a little time in the big leagues, and they don't look for him to be here too much longer.
Matt Fields, designated hitter. Played JUCO ball at Green River Community College. Signed as a minor league free agent 2012.
I tell you, this is a man. I was around him during batting practice, 6'5", 250.
Sounded like he broke his bat.
Yep.
Kyle Jensen makes the grab to end the inning. Both teams strand a runner in the first, and we'll go to the second. No score in Omaha. Zephyrs, Storm Chasers. Minor League Baseball Game of the Week on CBS Sports Network. We're back in Omaha. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner, Minor League Baseball Game of the Week. And proud and pleased to be joined in the booth by Mike Jersley, who is the man, the guest of honor tonight here in the ballpark. You used to work here, and now they're retiring your jersey. They've got a bobblehead. Hold that up there. You got your own bobblehead. How about that? What's this meant to you?
How
to
about
come
this?
back?
So this is the big league guide right here, too. I mean, got your name in here, Major League Coach.
Finally.
How's that feel?
That feels great. It really does. You know, I miss Omaha, and it's like my second home, but it's nice to be in the big leagues.
You bet it is.
36 years you waited for your opportunity. What kept you going?
Well, you know, I come from a family that had a lot of problems. Muscular dystrophy, my 3 brothers, and they battled and whatnot. They've since passed away, but they always said it could always be worse, you know. So just keep fighting for what you believe in and what you love to do, and it may come and it may not.
Kyle Jensen leading things off for New Orleans.
You've had the chance, though, to have such an impact. And we read the story about your family, and then to see the impact that you've had on so many young kids. And you look on that big league roster, shoot, half of them have come through you, more than half of them. Are they giving you any flack when you're up there in the big leagues?
No, they aren't. You know, and in fact, it makes it a lot easier for me. You know how it is when you walk into a major league clubhouse. When you know 3/4 of the guys, it's a lot easier.
Well, that's the truth. This ballpark is absolutely beautiful. It's the first time we've had a chance to see it, and the team seems to play well here, and it kind of gives you that comfy home feeling of intimacy when you look at this ballpark. And you have the opportunity to be at a couple of them here. Your feelings on this? Oh, that ball's hit pretty good.
Hammered by Kyle Jensen. If it stays fair, it is gone, and it is indeed a home run. 1-0 New Orleans.
I think I better leave. I'm bringing bad luck.
No. We have many more questions for you.
And this is your night.
17th home run of the year for Kyle Jensen. And the Zephyrs jump out on the home team. Now, I know Rosenblatt was a special place, but as we said earlier, your players and your broadcasters were telling us that something just clicked when you guys moved into this ballpark. You started winning championships. How do you explain that?
Well, I think you can look at player development and scouting, you know, and that's one thing that's really done a great job in the Kansas City organization is, I mean, the players that have come through here the last few years have been unbelievable as far as the talent. And hopefully they continue to do that, and we continue to get better and better up top.
Well, if they keep winning, things like this happen. They have bobbleheads, and then they retire a manager's jersey, as they did earlier tonight. It was funny because from where you were standing, you said you didn't have your glasses on and you couldn't see. I don't know if I believe that or not, but I know you probably go over and check it out. That had to be quite a thrill for you.
It was, you know, and I won't admit to many people, but I did get a little teary-eyed, and I didn't want to because I never do that stuff. But I don't like these things like this because, you know, to me, it's always a group effort. It's not one person. You know, I know the manager gets blamed for wins and losses and whatnot. He gets the one that gets fired, but it's everybody working together as a team, and that's the way you win championships.
Zach Cox stands in now for New Orleans, former Arkansas Razorback. Mike, you mentioned that everybody, it's a team effort, and I heard you say in your remarks, you know, you came to the ballpark to go to work, you know, and that's just basically your philosophy on things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And in fact, when I walked in today, it's like I felt really weird not having to sit down and figure out a lineup and, you know, figure out who I had to talk to because they weren't going to be happy. They weren't in the lineup and things like that.
You know, there's so many changes that go on in the minor leagues, and you got players for a week, and we even found out pretty good. Yeah, you used to. I noticed because throwing BP, you get a chance to move up a little bit. You wanted to go the whole 66 tonight, huh?
Oh, that was a long ways.
Yeah.
And believe me, I got a little air under it when I started, too, to make sure it got there.
Well, they always told me it's better to throw it a little bit long than it is to throw it short.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but now that you're in the big league, your responsibilities, I know they've changed a lot from being the man and the buck stopping with you to different. And you're still developing young players, and you still are being a mentor to these kids that are trying to figure it out. And your job is just to help them figure it out.
Yeah, it is. And continue. I think the main thing to me as a coach and a manager and whatnot is to keep everybody comfortable, you know, where you're not on pins and needles and you think every step you take, if you take the wrong step, you're in trouble, or you're going to be out of here or whatever. I just feel that you've got to play this game relaxed and, you know, play it hard and play it like it's supposed to be. But, you know, when something goes wrong, you can't be looking over your shoulder thinking, oh, they're going to send me out of here.
Mike Jersley joining us in the booth now, a Kansas City Royals coach, coaching third base now. Is that right?
Yeah.
And a long-time coach and manager and player in the minor leagues, and manager here, of course, in Omaha, very successful. And I've got to think that in your time spent in the minors and really with the young guys in the majors, the amount of time you spent in the minors and the patience you showed both as a player, coach, and manager before getting the call after 36 years, how does that help you with young guys, help them be patient?
Well, and you know how it is at the AAA level, especially where guys are, if they're down in AAA, they're not happy because they want to, first of all, if they're coming up, they want to be in the big leagues. If they've been up there and they're back down there, they don't believe they should be there. They should be in the big leagues. So, you know, and they'd come and complain to me, and I'd look at them and I'd say, hey, You know, you're looking at the wrong guy here, complaining to the wrong guy. You know, I've spent 30-some years in the minor leagues. I've been passed up 3, 4, 5 times for big league jobs, and I'm still here. But you know what? I go out and do my job every day, and if I don't, I have no chance of getting up there.
We asked Grady Little one time, he was our guest, and we said, Grady, one of the toughest things for you probably had to be letting guys go. And he went, quite frankly, no, there was some that I didn't mind letting them get out of here.
Josh Rodriguez down on strikes, and now Kyle Skipworth will stand in here in Omaha. And we're talking to Mike Jersley, the veteran of minor leagues, many, many seasons in the minors, and now is a part of the big club up in Kansas City. And I read a piece about the fact that you were on a hot tear in AAA, and you were ready to go up and thought you were going to get the call, collided with somebody in a game and blew your knee out, and that was about as close as you got. And I know how disappointing that must have been. When you look back on those years, was there ever a point where you thought, you know, and I know you're a furniture maker or repairman on the side, did you ever go in your own mind think, you know, maybe it's just furniture for me?
No, not really, you know, because I knew towards the end of my career, probably the last 4 or 5 years of my career, I knew, I mean, I was just going to have to explode offensively to even get a shot at getting to the big leagues. Defensively, I was a decent defensive utility guy in the infield, but I knew realistically, which a lot of guys can't see, I'm going to have to put together a great offensive year to even have a chance even being thought of in the big leagues. And if I don't, I wanted to get into coaching. Mm-hmm. I really did, because I love professional baseball, and I just love the way it works. And, you know, that's just where I wanted to be.
Well, there's so many of you. I mean, when I look back on, you have to have somebody that's in your corner to make it to the big leagues almost, unless you're just one of the superstars, but that's 1% of the game or less than that. And Russ Nixon was my guy who said, Doug, you just keep going. I think with your hands you're going to at least get a look. And you can be that guy, and you already have been just by reading your story to some of these players to say, I got your back. You just go out and play hard, and you'll continue to have their back. And it's a nice feeling when you see that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And, you know, you just continue. I think the main thing, too, is for us as instructors in the minor leagues and major leagues is the honesty part, you know. As soon as you cross one guy and, you know, you lie one time to somebody, your trust is gone.
You're right.
And then that just it's contagious. It just goes to everybody, and everybody knows that. So, and that's one thing I've always felt is, you know what, I'm going to be honest. And sometimes you don't want to hear the truth, but I'm going to tell you the truth.
Well, there you see some of the great accomplishments that your teams under your direction were able to pull off here in Omaha, starting with the PCL championship in the first year here in Werner Park in 2011, and of course the national championship, as they call it, last year, and the 2-1 win over Durham. Ball's going to get away from Pena, and Zach Cox scampering to second base.
You had a great number, by the way. I like that number. That'll be the only 23 of the two of us that'll be hanging anywhere.
Good-looking ring, good-looking trophies, and I know that you guys worked awfully hard to earn those. That had to be fun to bring those titles to Omaha.
And you know what was funny about last year is, I mean, we went right down to the last day to even get in the playoffs, and then we ended up winning the whole thing. And it probably wasn't talent-wise the best club you had, but you know, we got hot at the right time, and it took off, and we ended up winning everything.
Skipworth looks at called strike 3, so 2 strikeouts here in the inning for Mortensen, but a runner in scoring position now with 2 out.
Do you know Mortensen very well? Did you have him much?
No, I didn't see him much at all. He was there this spring, and I haven't really seen him.
Yeah. He was actually coming off hip surgery this spring, so joined the team late.
Dick was talking about having a couple of rings, one with Boston and then one here, so that makes it kind of nice.
By the way, I've got to work this in. You're a Wisconsin native.
Right. Grew
up a Green Bay Packers fan. And as a stock-owning member of the front office, I'm quite proud to have another Packers fan in the booth.
You always find a way to get that in, don't you, somehow.
If I can. But, you know, you don't get to talk Packers very often when you're on a baseball trip. But
no, not really.
That had to be fun, though, growing up in Wisconsin. And you were a Badgers fan, too, weren't you?
Right. In fact, I was going to go there. In fact, my nephew plays for the Badgers now. He's a tight end at the
Yeah,
University
I saw
of
that.
Wisconsin.
Read that story. I heard Appleton mentioned in there one time. I played with a kid from Appleton, Wisconsin. Gary Pozinski was a #1 draft choice.
Okay.
Out of that place. That was a long time ago.
So just a hotbed for baseball.
That's it.
Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yeah, that was. I think I remember seeing you play. I think I might have been your bat boy.
I watched Doug play when I was a little boy.
I used to put your bubble gum cards in my bike tires.
Didn't
That's
I
what-
say that to you last week?
And that's where they belong, believe me. They still do belong there.
Danny Black trying to bring a run in. They've already scored 1 run. Have the Zephyrs here in the top of the 2nd inning as Kyle Jensen led off with a home run. Mortensen trying to battle back down 3-0.
You know, back in, we were talking earlier, back when I was with Texas, I went over there briefly in '81. I also, 82 actually, I got married 3 days before spring training started. That's not a good thing to do.
No.
And then I went right to spring training with Texas and was only there briefly, but I tell you, I love the area. Out there in Arlington, it was beautiful. Uh-oh.
Drilled again. No doubt about that one. And it's a 3-0 game. Danny Black, the #9 hitter in the order. 2nd home run of the inning. And the Zephyrs are roughing up Mortensen.
It's amazing how many, you see this too. I mean, when you see pitchers that normally will be keeping the ball down, there's just a bell-tie fastball. Those things go a long way, don't they?
Yes, they do, and at the wrong time a lot of times.
Yeah, really.
Clay Mortensen gave up a double in the 1st and now a walk and 2 home runs here in the 2nd. 3-0 lead for the Zephyrs as we talk to Mike Jersley. Honored tonight and a good bunt by Marisnik, but Mortensen, angry with himself, stalks off the mound after fielding his position. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
You betcha.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Best
I
of luck to you.
appreciate
and the Royals.
Congratulations.
Long balls flying out of the ballpark here in Omaha. 3-0 lead for the Zephyrs. Back with more of the minor league baseball game of the week. Back in Omaha, Nebraska, where New Orleans 2 long balls back in the 2nd inning. Jump out on top of the Storm Chasers. And earlier this afternoon, Lauren Gardner had a chance to talk with the chief Storm Chaser, manager Brian Polberg.
When Storm Chasers' first-year manager received the call that he would be the manager for Omaha, not only was it the call up to the next level, but it was a bit of a homecoming. The Carter Lake, Iowa native is now just 20 miles away from home. And Brian, how has the transition been from AA to AAA, and how nice is it to be so close to home?
Oh, it's real nice to be close to home. I get to catch up on some family stuff that I missed a lot for the last 30 years for the most part. But, you know, to go home and sleep in your own bed after spring training, six weeks in an apartment, then you got motel, and then it used to be apartments. So to be home is real nice.
It has to be very nice. You've been part of this organization for the better part of 30 years now. How special is it for you to see some of this talent come up through the Kansas City Royals organization?
Oh, it's very nice. I was the Texas League in 2010 when we won everything in Hosmer and Moustakas, and that group came through there, and then they came up here and won. And, you know, it's nice to see the guys come through and do well and then get up to the big leagues and do well.
Let's talk about Mike Jersley for a minute, following in those footsteps and the fact that he's being honored this evening. How close of a relationship do you have with him, and what have you learned from him?
Well, we go back. We played against each other in '84 and '85, and when he was in Oklahoma City and I was in Omaha playing. So we've known each other for a long time. He was, I remember when he first retired, he came back. I was managing in Appleton, Wisconsin, which is, I think, about 30 miles from his hometown, and he showed up at the ballpark one night. And when I found out he was done, you know, we got him to talk to the front office and kind of got him a job, you know, coming back and coaching with the Royals. So he's been with us for a long time. He does a great job. You know, he helped me for the fact that he said, just be ready for phone calls at any time. You know, hey, your starter, get him out, or get ready to move a guy up. And, you know, I kind of thought it was kind of a fantasy at first until it happened the first day of the season. So it happens.
Anything can happen at this level. Thank you very much, Skip. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Brian Koldberg, manager of the Omaha Storm Chasers, 18th skipper in franchise history, 5th since Omaha joined the Pacific Coast League, and he is the 6th manager in team history who has also played for Omaha. So as Lauren said, his roots run deep in this organization. With one out, Justin Maxwell stands in for the Storm Chasers.
I like what he said. I knew I was going to get some phone calls, but not the first day.
3 for 10 in the last series prior to the All-Star game. Maxwell swinging a hot bat. Watched him in BP today. He was impressive. But as Doug mentioned, this is a team that likes to get up and take its cuts.
Boy, he's sneaky. You said earlier this is one of the prospects that they really like. Andrew Heaney tonight showing why.
You were talking about the big guys on this roster. Maxwell, one of them, 6'5", 225 out of Bethesda. Played his college ball, of course, for Maryland.
It's like a small forward. Boy, just a good off-speed pitch right there.
And he couldn't hold back. 2 down. Second strikeout for Heaney. And now Francisco Pena with the bandage on his chin. Second pitch of the game took a foul ball off the chin. It opened up a gash. Needed some medical attention.
Hasn't had much time off during this All-Star break. Finished second in the home run hitting contest.
18 home runs on the year. Pena out of the Dominican Republic. He's a big one too, 6'2", 230.
All these kids are. His daddy wasn't that big, but boy, was he a fine catcher. Played and loved the game as much as anybody I ever saw.
Had to be proud of his son, who started in the All-Star game, AAA All-Star game last night. Mets thought a lot of them when they drafted him, a non-drafted free agent back in '06, signing bonus of $750,000. Wow. Pops, by the way, now a bench coach with the Yankees.
Of course, speaking of Tony Pena, he had one of the most unique catching styles.
Didn't he, though?
That I believe, and it's hard to copy. You don't see too many people doing that.
Energetic, wasn't he?
He was just a motor mouth. I mean, he'd come over in your dugout before the game and just start talking baseball.
Again, Heaney runs it in on a right-hander and rings him up. 2 strikeouts in the inning. We'll go to the top of the third. The Zephyrs lead the Storm Chasers 3-0. Minor League Baseball game of the week on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Omaha, where the Zephyrs lead the Storm Chasers 3-0 on the Minor League Baseball game of the week. Join us next Thursday, July 24th. We'll head to Pennsylvania, where the Akron Rubber Ducks, the Indians affiliate, travel to Reading to take on the Fightin' Phils. That's the Phillies affiliate. Eastern League AA action on the Minor League Baseball game of the week, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the CBS Sports Network. Of course, the Rubber Ducks, one of the great nicknames, but it's tough to beat the Chihuahuas.
Oh,
and look what they're going to do on Sunday, August the 3rd. Bark at the Park jerseys. That's what they're going to look like. And you got to love Bark at the Park regardless, but when you can snag a jersey like that, it makes you want to head for El Paso.
That's
what a great
cool
idea. Again, one of the more creative names in minor league baseball when it comes to the nicknames. You love the Zephyrs. That's a great one. That's an iconic name. Minor league baseball. And the Storm Chasers haven't been around as far as the nickname is concerned all that long. Of course, they were the Omaha Royals for quite some time. And they're going to auction off the player-worn jerseys, by the way, for the El Paso Humane Society. So fans will have a chance to take home some of those jerseys on August 3rd.
Well, that's just another way, and we've talked almost every game of how they've added to the economy with the ballparks and giving back in some way to the respective communities. That's a great idea, come to think of it.
Your Denny Valdespin bounced back to the pitcher, actually tried to bunt his way on last time up for the Zephyrs, who joined the PCL in 1997 when the American Association was disbanded. Ran it in on him.
Boy, the key, both pitchers getting ahead and then using the good breaking ball as their out pitch or a changeup. See right here, just a good breaking ball. The old equalizer.
Mortensen now with 4 strikeouts, including 2 in that disastrous second inning that ended with him stalking off the mound yelling at himself. Juan Diaz doubled back in the first but was stranded. Jammed him. This Zephyrs franchise, its actual history spans about 100 years. 3 cities, 5 leagues, and affiliations with 14 of the current 30 major league teams. Great history behind this franchise, which at one point was the New Orleans Pelicans. So the NBA franchise was not the first team to be called the Pelicans in New Orleans. The Zephyr was named for the Zephyr roller coaster. That was a popular ride at an amusement park.
Good fastballs right there, trying to get him in under his hands. Last time Diaz got a ball out over the plate, laced a double down the right field line. You know, I'm feeling somehow that there's going to be a ball come back in here tonight.
Well, the fence is just high enough.
It's got a shot
to protect us, but yeah, I think a little bit of backspin or maybe topspin, one of the two, will send it right at us. Not that time. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Good change that time.
Mortensen up to 5 strikeouts.
A lot of movement on that pitch. And we can see when he keeps the ball down how effective he is, but when he makes a mistake with that fastball, at least tonight, New Orleans has jumped all over it.
Mark Canha ended inning number 1 with a fly ball. Played his college baseball at Cal Berkeley, 7th round draft pick back in 2010.
Slider that didn't slide that time, hangs up a little bit inside. What a beautiful night.
They're expecting big things in the power department from Canha. 13 bombs last year for Jacksonville. Lots of foul ground to negotiate. Not quite enough.
And a tough sky. Infielders are going to really have to help the outfielders with the ball hit into the air right now. It's going to be tough to see. A beautiful sky, but a tough sky to see. Boy, we're just a good look at a nice looking ballpark.
Might be more berm territory beyond the outfield wall than any park we've seen this year. Just a lot of grass out there for the fans to use. Spread out a blanket, let the kids run around.
Well, they are too. They are moving all over the place. Turn them loose and you sit and enjoy the ball game.
2 balls and 1 strike now to Canha. Thomas Newsom behind the plate. There's a good look at the berm and the families out there.
Play a little hoops while you're out there if you get a little bored with baseball.
You can walk all the way around the outfield. Hitters count now for Canha.
We must be seeing the ball really well. That was a pitch that was tough to lay off of, but he didn't even offer at it. Now in a good hitter's count. Oh, got him a fastball and just beat him. I think he saw that one too well.
Canha, a native of San Jose, California. Three-two pitch.
Hammered.
Absolutely drilled. Whit Merrifield for the second time tonight looks up and watches one sail out of Werner Park. That's the third home run given up by Mortensen, and it's a 4-0 game.
I know this ballpark carries pretty good, but there have been no doubters on each of the home runs hit tonight. This looks like a hanging, breaking ball that's right over the plate. Man, he knows when he hits it, he gets every bit of this pitch.
Yep.
Home run number 14. He's having an excellent year.
Well, he was 3 for 4 in his last game of the home run.
You know what's fun is you get a chance to see some of these players that you may not have heard of, but you will pretty soon.
That's the kind of long ball they've been looking for from Canna. He had 25 home runs for Greensboro in 2011 in the Sally League, but dropped off to just 6 in High A in Jupiter in 2012. Bounced back last year with Jacksonville.
There's number 2,
Hanging
maybe.
curveball. Good night. The Zephyrs are just pounding Clay Mortensen. Second home run for Kyle Jensen.
Boy, it's almost as if they know what's coming. And they are not being fooled at all by off-speed pitches or anything. Of course, he has 5 strikeouts, but he's been down with those. And anytime he's left the ball in a hitting zone, and there we see one right down the middle. Short, quick, compact swing. It's a line drive out of here.
So make it a 5-0 lead for New Orleans. Zach Cox, the DH, steps up. Walk, scored a run. Came around on a home run by Danny Black in the second inning. Mortensen opened the inning and he looked sharper than he had in the first 2 by striking out the first 2 men he faced. But now back-to-back home runs following back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, here's a kid we've watched since he was a sophomore in high school.
Out of Louisville, Kentucky. Outstanding all-conference career at Arkansas.
DH in tonight, but we had a chance to see him play third base.
Outstanding third baseman.
Sure was. Sure he is.
Drafted by the Cardinals. Marlins traded for him in 2012 off the end of the bat. That's a base hit for Zach Cox. Drafted out of high school by the Dodgers in the 20th round, but chose to go on to college. Now Chris Dwyer loosening in a hurry for Omaha.
And we saw him running out to the bullpen. Get some speed going now, get a little bit more time as Pena walks out to the mound to have a little talk with Mortensen.
Josh Rodriguez with a runner at first, 2 runs in, 2 out. Struck out his last time up. Already 63 pitches for Clay Mortensen. Rodriguez, one of his 5 strikeout victims, but he's already given up 6 base hits. Second round pick out of Rice by the Indians in '06. Rodriguez, a Houston native. Spent 7 games in the bigs with Pittsburgh back in 2011. Also played briefly for the Mets. Signed a minor league contract earlier this year with the Marlins. Yes, he did. Mortensen looking like the right-hander who started this inning.
Yeah, and he almost has to have pinpoint accuracy tonight because, as we said earlier, not overpowering. But when he's made mistakes tonight, he's been hurt by the high pitches.
Runner goes. Just beating the throw by Pena.
I didn't think it would be that close. Pena does a good job of catching the ball on the outside and letting it go after a very good jump by Zach Cox.
Throw went to the shortstop side of the bag, and that may have been what allowed Cox to slide in safely.
Well, we watch a lot of these infielders take those throws from up in front of the base.
Didn't have much choice that time, but you're right. You got to let it travel. 1-2.
I like that lingo. You're coming up with some pretty good baseball lingo.
Well,
now.
I'm hanging around you guys, you know, and talk to a lot of infield coaches, and they all say the same thing you do. It's funny how that works.
Especially
do
all
you
the
call
old
ahead?
schoolers.
Is that what you do?
All the old schoolers learned the same thing.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason it works, isn't there?
One would think.
2 out, 2 in. Off the end of the bat.
Could be trouble.
And that is a base hit, and that is an RBI for Josh Rodriguez, and a 6-0 game.
Boy, when it's going bad, there's not a lot you can do because he made 2 pretty good pitches. That one and then the one on Zach Cox. Well, that pitch is away. He pulls off of it, hits it off, and looked like the end of the bat. And it just perfect. Couldn't have served it out there any better.
So after striking out the first 2 men he faced, Clay Mortensen has given up 4 straight hits, including 2 home runs, and his night is done. The pitching matchup that we thought we would see did not quite materialize, and it's a 6-0 lead for New Orleans. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher in just a minute. We'll step out in Omaha. Minor League Baseball Game of the Week on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Omaha, where New Orleans has come to town and jumped all over the Storm Chasers, 6-0. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. New pitcher is the left-hander Chris Dwyer, 6'3", 209. He was born in Boston, spent last year, split time between Omaha and Kansas City. There you see his numbers.
And you can see one of the issues in 35 innings, he has the 23 walks. Obviously, he throws pretty good because he's got 44 strikeouts too, so control may be an issue. 1-3 with a 6.56. Looking for him to try to get him out of this mess.
Well, he was on the bump to start the national championship game last year, the AAA national title game, and went 6 2/3 perfect innings before giving up a base hit in a 2-1 victory by Omaha, and that earned him MVP honors for that game. But prior to this year, he's only made 4 career relief appearances. So this is an adjustment for Chris Dwyer. 6 years in pro ball. He's been up for a grand total of 2 games in the bigs, up with the Royals. Back on the 29th, he rang up 5 strikeouts in a win at Oklahoma City, as you get a good look at Kyle Skipworth. Caught looking his last time up. That was against Mortensen, of course.
Talked with Skipworth before the game. He came over and introduced himself to me, was very nice, polite, asked me if I needed anything while I was hanging around their dugout. And I think what he was trying to do was say, if you don't belong here, just go ahead and get out.
But instead, he made you feel welcome.
But he did. He made me feel very welcome, and he said, go easy on me tonight.
Native of Riverside, California. Drafted in the 6th round in 08. Finally, the Storm Chasers are out of the inning. But this is what happened again in the 3rd as the Zephyrs played long ball. And it's a 6-0 lead for New Orleans. Back with more of the Minor League Baseball Game of the Week on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Werner Park, Omaha, Nebraska. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner, gorgeous night for baseball. And the crowd, as we mentioned, actually bigger than it might appear with the stands because so many people have chosen to spread out blankets in the outfield. But right now they're watching this young man, Andrew Haney, from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, handle their favorite team. The Storm Chasers down a touchdown here in the third inning, but in a football-loving state like Nebraska, you'd think that shouldn't be a problem, but Haney has just been wicked sharp.
Dick, we talked a little bit about the right field fence and kind of the angle that it comes at. And you can see it sort of bows. We're going to take a look at this field. Now, if you're the right fielder, you think this might be a little confusing? Look at that big bow that comes out there. So the ball's going to have a different angle every time it comes off that wall. And you can't see it hardly from this distance before we got a good look at it from our center field camera. And so one of the first things that we were always taught to do when you get to a ballpark is to go out and check the fences, check the walls behind each of the bases so that if there was an overthrow or a ball was hit off the fence, you would know exactly which way it was going to bounce back. I would be confused out there on that one right there.
Look at that.
But that's amazing. And, you know, each one of these parks we've been to have had a little something different.
Yeah.
If you see the dimensions down the left field fence and all across the ballpark, just beautiful facility.
4-0-2 straight away. Not an easy poke. Brian Bocock will try to fight his way on. Right now, Omaha just needs base runners.
Brian Bocock was funny around the batting cage. He says, "Why would you guys come to Omaha?" I said, "To see you."
I was going to say, we've heard so much about you.
But are they excited? Guys were in there texting their families to be watching the ball game tonight, so that's good to see because I don't ever remember being on TV in the minor leagues.
Bocock out of Harrisonburg, Virginia. Played his college baseball at Stetson. 9th round draft pick of the Giants back in '06. At Stetson, he was pursuing a degree in sports management, so he may have his future already mapped out whenever he's done with baseball. Talked about him getting on base. He's done it well of late. In June, he led the team with 17 runs scored.
Well, just what you expect out of a little second baseman. So he's not a little, he put together pretty good. Boy, I tell you, that breaking ball when he's throwing it at any time in the count now has really been effective. Get a chance to see just a hard slider that starts, looks like a strike, and then the bottom just falls out of it.
3 straight strikeouts now for Haney. Brings up Paul Yanish, and let's go downstairs to Lauren Gardner. Lauren.
Well, Dick, Paul Yanish can bring a lot of veteran leadership to this Omaha Storm Chasers club. He was traded from Colorado on July 5th and is in his 11th year in professional baseball and has made over 140 appearances at the big league level. And in talking to Tommy Gregg, the hitting coach for Omaha, he said, you know, Paul adds so much to this club for us defensively, but what I really wanted him to focus on was his hitting. He said he has to be more aggressive at the plate and also focus on his pitch selection. And, you know, I think it seemed to work. In his last at-bat, in his last game, he went 4 for 4 at Colorado.
Wow.
He said, like you guys said, we either hit or we walk. And I'm thinking he's hoping that he's going to hit, but they're aggressive here at the plate with Omaha.
Well, you're right, Lauren. And here's the kid that got the starting nod with the Cincinnati Reds at one time, but they pretty much told him, there's what he needs to do.
That's right. You got to do more of that.
But they pretty much said, don't worry about your hitting. You just go out and play solid defense. And I will tell you, there's not too many guys that are better shortstops than that young man right there.
5th round draft pick by the Reds back in '04 out of Rice University. Paul Yanish. Now the top of the order with Merrifield. Single to open the game. Way back in the first inning when prospects were brighter for Omaha, but since then New Orleans has just been knocking baseballs out of the park. And Andrew Haney's been sharp. Yanish reaching him for just the second time tonight.
One more side note to Paul Yanish, too. He came in to pitch a game when they were struggling with some of their pitching and the game got out of hand and was throwing 90 plus. So he has an outstanding arm.
Andrew Haney, second tour with the Zephyrs. Mentioned the Marlins brought him up earlier.
That's that breaking ball that he continues to throw in a very good location.
Haney's major league debut was back on the 19th of June. Ran into some real tough luck. Gave up just 1 run on 4 hits, a walk, struck out 3 in 6 innings against the Mets, but Marlins lost 1-0.
Boy, just easy gas on the outside corner, and then that slider that's down and in. You can see why they're so high on this young man. He's a excellent pitcher, has a clue what he's doing. Of course, we'll give the catcher a little praise on that too. Skipworth.
Merrifield trying to chop his way on. Nice pickup by the skipper. Haney with a career high 9 strikeouts back on June 7th against Round Rock. Tied a career high. He's done it 3 other times. That was when he was with AA Jacksonville. Ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Merrifield trying to go with it.
Just hanging in. You know, I don't know that I've ever seen you as excited as I did today when you walked by the Bob Gibson statue outside the ballpark.
It's my guy.
My goodness. Got a chance to
native of Omaha, played at Creighton.
That's right. Got a chance to talk to his lovely wife, Wendy, yesterday.
There it is.
Outstanding. Wow.
Right by the front gate of Werner Park here in Omaha.
I tell you, he's one of the neatest guys I've ever been around. He's all the different things that he has done since he got out of baseball. Of course, he's known for one thing, that's been just a fearsome pitcher, but he is quite an individual.
Merrifield stays alive. Well, and thanks to you, I got a chance to meet him and just chat with him briefly. That was such a thrill, but I just love watching him compete. What a nice grab by a young fan. And I would love to talk to him today about the fact that you can't pitch inside anymore.
Yeah, that's
true. That was his game.
I heard a guy challenge him one time, say, with today's rules, you probably wouldn't have been near as effective. And Bob sort of looked at him and went, basically, are you that stupid? It's Bob Gibson.
Yeah, are you
Make
new?
a pitch anywhere. Yeah, maybe you haven't heard about me.
Skipworth's going to have a word with Haney as they battle against with Merrifield.
But I'll tell you the things he does. He's built onto his home. He loves to ride in a mobile home. He has a train set where he built all the sceneries and tracks for these little small trains that run all over this
Does he
room.
wear the hat when he's running the trains?
I didn't ask that. But when I saw him, he did not have the hat on.
Got it. Merrifield out of Advanced, North Carolina, but went south to play with the Gamecocks. 6'1", 175, 9th round draft pick.
Good job that time of Skipworth blocking that pitch. But he came back with the same out pitch he's been getting the guys to swing at, and that's that hard slider down and in.
That's the one, if you can get consistently, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Well, there was a pitcher that made a living off of that, and you knew it was coming, Steve Carlton. You knew he was going to throw a slider, but it was so nasty you just couldn't hit it. There
Changing speeds right at Diaz. Valdesman. So a force play. And there are 2 out.
That ball kind of flew away from him. It's a perfect double play ball. Gets a good feed from the shortstop. You know, that time tried to drop down 3/4.
Might have tried to hurry, a nod to Merrifield's speed.
And he threw off his back foot too. You know, you got to somehow get that front foot down and throw and then get in the air, and it'll give you a little bit more on your throw.
Give Giannis credit for a good hard slide as well as Cologne stands in. Struck out back in the first inning. He's got a good season going with that .291 average. From Puerto Rico, but played his college ball at Cal State Fullerton. First-round draft pick back in 2010.
See what part of Puerto Rico. It might be kin to some of my family. It's like Calle. Have to find out where that is.
Cal State Fullerton with an outstanding baseball program. They know what it's like to come to Omaha and win a College World Series. Royals' 9th best prospect heading into 2012. Drafted out of high school by the Padres in '07 in the 10th round. Most young men would have a hard time saying no to that, but he made the right choice. Moved to California in time to play high school ball. Actually played at 3 different high schools. By the time he left, was a high school All-American.
Boy, putting a good at bat on him right now. A lot of souvenirs going out to the fans tonight here in Omaha. I remember a time where you would play with a baseball until it just was pitiful looking. It's good
Now,
to see that.
Are you talking about in pro ball or
Yes.
in the neighborhood?
No, it was pro ball. Shoot, back in the big leagues, they had a ball counter. When I first started with Cincinnati, George Scherger, he'd count. He came up short. It was coming out of somebody's pocket.
Try to get him to chase as you saw Skipworth set up outside. Good pitch by Haney, but Colin takes 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, he hammered him in with off speed and breaking pitches, and that time tried to paint the corner on the outside. Good look at Skipworth getting the signs from the dugout. Another fastball away.
Talking to Tim Grubbs, the radio man for New Orleans, now in his 13th year, 20 years overall in minor league baseball. Told us this is the kind of game you could expect from Haney. Good command, not overpowering, but stuff that's good enough. But that's not going to stay in the yard. Go back, look up, say goodbye. Another 2-run bomb, this time hammered by one of the Storm Chasers, Christian Colon. And it's a 6-2 game, and the crowd comes alive.
You know, these aren't cheap home runs either. Every one of these balls has been hit right on the button. Boy, he just gets a pitch, and he knows it. Not much doubt about this one.
Now how big is Whit Merrifield beating out that potential double play? That was the 3rd out of the inning potentially, and instead he scores ahead of the home run.
Well, you take that and the fact that Giannis goes in with a good hard slide at second base. That's the way he plays the game, though. And that's the way you like to see everybody play it.
Johnny Giavotella, fly ball to left his last time up. I guess in the world of baseball, I have to take the heat on that one. I had just bragged about Haney. Next pitch goes out of the yard, so that one's on me. I don't think that'll make Haney feel much better.
You know, I don't put a whole lot of stock in those kind of things, but if you want to feel bad about it, go ahead.
See, you can mock the baseball gods now because your career's over. Your baseball, your playing career, that is.
Yeah, that's true. But I would never mock them. I would just, like that no-hitter deal. You and I didn't mention it several weeks ago.
In Memphis.
And we didn't want to say a word about it, and somebody gets a hit. So then last week I decided, let's talk about it. And they don't get a base hit.
So you're taking credit for the no-hitter.
No, I'm just not taking credit for the
Not taking the blame.
That's right.
No, we
I'm
did
not a
everything.
manager, so I don't have to.
We did everything right in Memphis. There's no question.
You know, talking to Mike Jersley, it was really exciting to see the things that about mentoring these players and
Yes.
talking to them, and now it looks like we may have a broken bat.
Well, everything he's been through in his professional career, for one thing, and he mentioned the fact that muscular dystrophy, that gene prevalent in his family, he was one of 8 children, and he lost 3 brothers to that disease. And fortunately, obviously, he did not inherit that gene from his parents.
I tell you, I'm glad I read that. There's a good sign of his jersey that'll hang out there forever now.
Right up the row from George Brett. How about
Wow.
that? What a thrill.
What was one of the other ones? Dick Hauser was out there.
Another great gentleman of the game.
Yes, sir.
So a new bat in hand. He goes from the dark wood to the light. See if that helps Johnny Giavitella. There's the number 5 that everybody here
Boy, could he hit.
recognizes. Yeah, he can hit a little bit. They called him the greatest Royal of all time tonight. Hard to argue.
Hard to argue. He and Charlie Lau got together and came up with kind of a unique hitting approach, and
Boy, the summer he made a run at 400, that was exciting.
that sure was.
Off speed, but ball 4. So the Storm Chasers extend the inning, 2 out but 2 in. And now Matt Fields, the DH, hit a fly ball to right his last time up.
Here's a guy who could get you back in the game in a hurry.
He's a big bat.
18 big flies.
He and his teammate Francisco Pena battling for the home run lead.
Charlie Corbell going out to pitching coach. Have a little talk with his starter. Boy, those guys were great. Talked to him and Andy Haynes before the game. Both coaching staffs and, of course, everyone that works around the ballpark has just opened up their doors for us to come in tonight and do this ball game.
Fields and Pena, the only teammates in AAA baseball with at least 18 homers. Adam Duvall up in Fresno, 26 home runs. We saw him earlier this year.
Yeah, he had 2 the night that we saw him, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep.
Man, he just looks like he's ready to let it fly. There's a nasty pitch there. Waiting on one he can handle.
Drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 04. 6'5", 235. His father, Andrew, played basketball overseas after being drafted by the Portland Trailblazers. Comes by that height honestly.
I mean, he hit some rockets today during batting practice.
Back in 09, he led the Tampa Bay organization with 77 RBIs. Looked like he was loading up there, but Haney fooled him.
Yeah, he came back with the breaking ball. He started outside and broke back in across the plate. He may try that one that goes down towards his back foot right now.
Last game out, Fields 4 for 5, a home run, 3 runs batted in.
Setting up outside. Wow.
Fields goes with it. They're going to hold the runner at third, and a double for Matt Fields with 2 outs. And the Storm Chasers are roughing up Haney.
That ball was hit on a line. I mean, that's one the first baseman may have jumped for. What a good job of Jensen getting to it. Ball hits the pad out there, comes right to him. He plays it perfectly, gets it into the relay man. And you could see that Givatello was thinking of maybe of going to score, but a good relay job.
Omaha coming in off 2 wins over Colorado Springs. And Fields tore it up in that series. Went 8 for 12, couple of doubles, 2 home runs. Took time off at the All-Star break, picked up where he left off.
And we've seen some balls hit very hard tonight. Of course, we got 2 teams that have been playing pretty good baseball.
And the bullpen comes to life for New Orleans. There's Rhett Varner warming. And Haney was just sailing along until the 3rd inning. Huge at bat here for Paulo Orlando.
You bet.
Fly ball to center his last time up. From Sao Paulo, Brazil, 6'2", 210.
Was a track star. They say they hope that he hits one in the gap tonight so you can watch him. He is just effortlessly gets around those bases with some giddy up.
Yep. That's what Brett Pollock told us, the play-by-play man, that he said watching him run the bases is a thing of beauty. At 6'2" with those long legs. Tore up the Carolina League in 08. And again in 2010.
May not get a pitch to hit here.
No. Signed with the White Sox back in 05. He was the fastest base runner in their system in 07 and in 08. And a good pitch on the outside edge, and he really kept it away from him at 3-0.
Yeah, he may have had the green light there, but smart hitting. That's a pitch where you've got to be looking middle in if you're going to try to jack one. Good pitcher's pitch.
Royals traded for him back in 08. Hitters count. Discipline at the plate. Take a look at the catch he made last night in the All-Star game, using the speed. Covering ground. How about
wow. Outstanding.
Well, that's why he was named the best defensive outfielder in the White Sox chain at one point. This may do it for Haney. Four straight have reached for the Storm Chasers. And now a change on the bump for the Zephyrs. We'll take a break. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. The minor league baseball game of the week on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Omaha at Werner Park, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner, and another pitching change. Here in a game we thought might be a pitcher's duel, and at first it was, but now the Zephyrs have gone to their bullpen and called on right-hander Rhett Varner. Looking for his first save. Obviously, this is not a save situation, but he's only gone 10 2/3 this year, giving up 19 hits and 10 walks, so obviously struggling with his control right now. From Trophy Club, Texas. Spent last year, part of it anyway, with New Orleans as well as Jacksonville. 6'4", 215. Drafted in the 6th round back in 2010. And he will try to quiet these Storm Chaser bats. And here it's men on second and third with 2 out. And a 6-2 lead, so the evening is done for Haney. He can't lose it.
That's right. You bring him in specifically right here to pitch to the right-hander Maxwell with the bases loaded, and the way the ball's been going out of the ballpark here tonight, you know, one swing, we're tied up. And that's something, though, you set the game up for a pitching duel, and this is what you get.
You're right. And that's his second and third. It is loaded up now. It was on the DL, Varner was, back in April. Came off and then went back on the next day. Picked up his only win back in May. Pitched at Oklahoma City on the 10th. Justin Maxwell with a big swing.
Little slide piece right there, had him out in front. Here's another big kid, 6'5", 225.
Maxwell this year 0 for 2 with bases loaded. Gets through Skipworth.
Boy, just excellent base running right there.
Giavotella, as soon as he saw it hit the dirt, was off and running. Both other runners move up, so now it is second and third, but another run in.
I mean, that ball doesn't get there too far, but he sees the pitcher kind of slow, and he knows all he's got to do is beat the pitcher. There's some excellent speed right there. That might be one of the few times where it's okay to go head first in the home plate. Other than that, if the catcher's waiting on you, you do not want to go head first. Good speed that time and a good read.
So on the pass ball, it's a 6-3 game. That ball didn't travel much past Skipworth, but as you said, great hustle by Giavotella. And now Fields at third, Orlando at second.
You know, some people just have instincts, and that time that's what he showed. The greatest I ever saw, and remember watching on TV, was Willie Mays. He knew the ball was going to be in the dirt, and as soon as he saw it from first base, he was gone.
A little bit of speed to go with that instinct, too.
Oh, he just, what an athlete.
For my money, best ever.
Mine too.
Drilled, but right at Marsnick, and the inning's over. But Omaha climbs right back into the game, and one of the big reasons, Christian Colon with a big fly to left field. 6-3 Zephyrs lead it. Minor League Baseball game of the week on CBS Sports Network. Back in Omaha, where the Storm Chasers and the Zephyrs got a good one going. Baseball's flying out of the ballpark, and a gorgeous evening for baseball. 6-3 New Orleans leads it. Here at Werner Park, joined now by Gary Green, Chief Executive Officer, Managing Owner of the Omaha Storm Chasers. And first of all, thanks for the hospitality. This is great.
Oh, it's great to have you guys. Very exciting to be in the national game this week.
Before we start asking you about your ballpark and your ball club, what did it mean to you to be able to honor Mike Jersley tonight?
I mean, Jersh is, I would call him the PCL manager equivalent of Derek Jeter.
Wow.
You know, class.
And you got the catch
One
the
word,
pitch
class.
tonight. Pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
You must have learned that as a kid growing up watching some very good New York Met ball clubs.
Yeah, I don't know about very good, but watching some Met ball clubs.
All right, look, I see right here. We got little bios on everybody. Yours is like a page and a half. Did you write this up, or is that just one of the perks of being the head man here?
You know, I've got a couple of years under my belt. Not as many as you, but a couple of years.
You put together a great group of owners, and you've got a new ballpark, and you're winning championships. You've got a great-looking ring on your hand from the championship last year as Danny Black grounds to start off this inning. But tell me a little bit about the work that went into all this.
So we came on about 2 years ago, and we had purchased the team from a partnership that included Warren Buffett. So we had ownership had big shoes to fill.
Oh, yeah.
And especially coming in as somebody from New York who really doesn't know the Midwest and not from here, we had a lot to prove. And I think we have. It's been 2 years, and we've made some. We've taken what we've had. What we had was great. We've added to it. And this is just a great ballpark. A lot of family fun. It's an interesting business model because minor league baseball is the one place where you have to sell. You sell to seniors. You have your seniors who are the diehard fans, you have your families, the kids and the parents. You have your young singles who like to come and, drink beer and alcohol. And then, so you have all that mixed in, all that clientele. And then you have your B2B clients, your sponsorship. So the reason I like it is because there's so many different things happening in this one business. That's just very interesting.
Well, Gary, you and I talked a little bit earlier about social media and the part that it plays.
Jake Marsnick ripping one down the line and into second with a double.
And we talked a little bit, and you were telling me about how important that is now and how the game has sort of changed, but social media is vitally important to what you do here.
Yeah, so social media is big in sports. The numbers say that people for sports, people look at Facebook leading up to the game, but day of game, Twitter is much more popular than Facebook.
Wow.
So when you want to get in touch with your fans, whether it's the weather, the scores, what's going on at the ballpark, or just to reach out, it's Twitter. Wow. And I'm somebody who started on Twitter about 6 months ago. And what I found was that it was a great way for me to be in touch with the fans. Mm-hmm. And fans would reach out all the time, and they love to be in touch with. They love to be in touch with ownership, and it's a great way to be in touch with them.
Valdispin with a double down the other line, and now the Zephyrs get back one of the runs they gave up. It's a 7-3 game with one out here in the fourth. So you got on the Twitterverse.
I'm on the Twitterverse. I'm up to roughly 18,000 followers, and
wow.
And it's great because I tell the fans, if you want to come say hello, you want to talk baseball, just tweet me. I'll meet you at the ballpark.
Awesome.
And I'll buy you a beer. Or buy you a soda if you're under 21. And I love it. I love it. And I walk around and everybody wants to take pictures and post them. And that's what it's all about. So social media, people look at it as a way that maybe sometimes people aren't present.
Right.
But it's also allows you to be more present if you use it wisely and judiciously.
Doug and Lauren and I, of course, are lucky enough to be able to travel the country each week and see different ballparks at different levels. And everybody's different. Everybody's unique. But one of the things that's constant everywhere we've been is customer service. And we've seen that in action here.
Yeah, I mean, we have such a great staff. People who work in minor league baseball, they love what they do because
nice grab by Pena.
And they love what they do because the hours are endless. And you're not going to do a good job at something if you don't love it. And they truly love. We all have, all of us. We have baseball in our blood. And I loved baseball when we bought this team 2 years ago. And I can't believe, but I love it 10 times more. Being involved here for 2 years, it's great.
You guys were able to commemorate Rosenblatt Stadium with Johnny Rosenblatt's infield at the zoo. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that, but I've been over to the zoo to Rosenblatt. I actually never saw a game at Rosenblatt, but there's so much great history there, and just driving through it on a golf cart before they had torn it down, it just felt like a combination of Wrigley and Fenway all at once, and we knew that we'd have to create a ballpark with character to emulate that, and I feel like we have here.
Well, there you see shots of the ribbon cutting and the great-grandson of Johnny Rosenblatt threw the first pitch at the attraction. So there's a link to the past, and everybody who knows baseball in Omaha knows Rosenblatt, but now Warner Park is the place to come, and we saw the long lines, folks waiting to get in tonight. You had to love that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't love people waiting in line, but the energy that people have when they come in here, especially behind Jersh. Jersh is such a legend here that it makes me really proud that people would show up just to support him.
He was so humble. It's good to see him get that kind of respect too, because the hours that coaches put in the minor leagues is ridiculous. I've had a chance to do it. You're the first one at the ballpark, the last one to leave. You're doing reports. You're babysitting 25 different personalities. You're trying to help guys not only become better ball players, better people, handle adversity. So it was good to see you honor a man like that tonight.
Oh, yeah, and did you see he was in tears. Like, I was worried about him getting it up.
Well, he actually admitted that when he got up here.
Yeah.
He said, I don't normally do that, but he said,
I was making fun of him after that.
Talking to Gary Green, Chief Executive Officer and the Managing Owner of the Omaha Storm Chasers here at Warner Park in Omaha. as New Orleans with 2 outs and a 3-1 count to Mark Canna, dangerous hitter.
Have you spoken tonight about Bob Gibson being from
Who?
Omaha? Bob.
Absolutely.
Are you getting his favorite player in the world?
Warren Buffett's favorite player, too.
Well, the Warren Buffett and I have a lot in common. Checkbook is not one of them, but love of the Cardinals and Bob Gibson is another.
I used to come out and met Mr. Buffett because he was a big sponsor of Bob's golf tournament out here for years, and got a chance to come out here and play in that. And I think Gibby's one of the most amazing people I've ever been around. Matter of fact, talked to him, talked to his wife Wendy, and we mentioned that earlier as you see the statue there, and what just a great. And I know he'll be geared up to go see his buddy Joe Torre going to the Hall of Fame this year.
Well, last year, Torre and Bill White and Tim McCarver were here to dedicate the Gibson statue.
Wow.
And it was special to see 77-year-old Bob Gibson break down in tears on the
my
podium.
goodness.
And then Buffett was here and Bud Selig. It was special.
Yeah.
I hate to be a buzzkill here, but this is Kyle Jensen. He's gone deep on you guys twice, so let's see what he does with 2 on and 2 out. And we ask this of a lot of guys we interview, but when you come to the ballpark, do you get to watch much baseball? And I'm guessing not as much as you like.
That's true. I don't get to watch as much as I'd like, but you know what I've learned about ownership is that I love the baseball, but I love the fans just as much, and that kind of sounds like maybe a cheesy line, but it's true. I got my guys in the downdraft in center field. I got to go see every night. I got my people in the Jim Beam Club. I got my people on the dugout.
I like when he says, "I gotta go see him." You know, gotta go see him.
My guys. And another one gets away, but Pena keeps it in front of him. Nicely done by the Storm Chasers catcher. It's also fun to watch minor league fans, and part of the tradition, as you well know, is they embrace the team, but they know that some of the guys are going to be back next year and they're going to have brand new players, and that's all part of it, isn't it?
No, it is. I mean, we all understand that we're here to support the major league team, and them winning is the ultimate goal, but sure feels good to win when we're here.
You've done nothing but win in this ballpark. How did that happen?
Exactly.
I guess if you knew how it was going to happen, you could bottle it and sell it. But your radio guys and some of your players were saying it's just the atmosphere is big time, and it just helps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a positive atmosphere here. And, I mean, last year we won 70 and 74.
Yep.
We back into the playoffs, and we win the national championship. And I know, Doug, you won a couple of World Series. But this thing of champagne in your eyes, that's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, I see the guys today, they put on goggles. You know, that's not part of it. It's burning, having your eyes burn for 2 days. And, you know, you're feeling it.
And we're on minor league budget, so we ran out of champagne, we had beer, and then we started throwing milk at each other.
Well, you got the big trophies, though, over the last few years.
And your rings are better than mine. I mean,
That's true. That's true.
Now a mound visit, because bases are full of Storm Chasers right now. Chris Dwyer struggling.
There's a good look at that ring.
Exact ring that Gary Green is wearing right now. And you mentioned backing in. I mean, as I understand it, you needed Oklahoma City to beat Memphis, and it was 2 outs, 2 strikes, last inning, down 4-0.
4-0.
1 strike, and your season's over.
Yep, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Yep. It was amazing. It was amazing.
At that moment, you were huge Oklahoma City fans, weren't you?
And we had Chris Dwyer throw 6 2/3.
Well, that'll work.
Yeah.
Perfect game in the national championship.
It was the MVP, we said, earlier. So,
Gary, we talked a little bit earlier about the design of the right field fence and the way it kind of bows out and kind of looks like a little snake out there. Was that by design, or did that just had some hard places you couldn't get the cement down in?
No, that was by design. We call that a Steinism. That's an Alan Steinism.
Alan Stein, we should have known.
But yeah, there you go.
One of your.
I'm sure he's listening
one
right
of your
now.
co-owners.
You know what? We were going to just bury him tonight, but for not being here. But
Zach Cox with a big chance here. Bases full, 2 out. That's hammered to center. Over the head of Orlando and over the fence as well. Ground rule double. 2 runs in for the Zephyrs, and they get back the 3 runs they gave up to the Storm Chasers in the bottom of the 3rd, and it's 9-3.
would you say that this at the ballpark, the ball carries
Oh yeah.
pretty good?
Oh yeah.
Because we've
Absolutely.
seen tonight, I mean, there's balls that have been hit good, but I mean, they're getting out of here in a hurry.
And the wind's blowing out.
Third double of the inning for New Orleans. And now Josh Rodriguez will try to keep it going. Jensen at third. Second base hit of the night for Zach Cox.
I mean, the Pacific Coast League in general is a hitter's league.
Yeah.
And you know, I think there's ballparks where the ball carries more, Colorado, Las Vegas, but the ball definitely carries here.
I'm guessing it doesn't carry quite as well in New Orleans. Right there at sea level. This one far more playable. Maxwell, and the inning over. Gary, thank you so much for joining
My
us.
pleasure.
Congratulations
Pleasure to
on
be
the
here.
success.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having us.
Congrats,
Great to be
buddy.
here. Thank
Gary
you.
see you.
Green, Chief Executive Officer, Managing Owner of the Omaha Storm Chasers. Back in a minute, minor league baseball game of the week. Back in a minute, minor league baseball game of the week. You know, it's a special night when the Clydesdales arrive, and they are here in Omaha. They made an appearance before the ball game here at Warner Park, and a huge crowd on hand to check them out. One of the great traditions in all of sports. The Clydesdales, they get invited to everything. What a life.
They do have a good life, don't they? I mean, they got nice vans to travel.
They're photogenic, and always the Dalmatian on the beer wagon. Tomorrow's conversations start tonight. Get the latest word in sports on Leadoff tonight at midnight Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now, we say midnight Eastern, but the way this game is going, we may still be calling home runs at midnight Eastern. 9-3 New Orleans. Doubles, home runs, runners circling the bases, and I can tell you who's happy about that is Mike Schlein. He is the Zephyr GM watching the game back in Duck, North Carolina, and happy birthday to him, celebrating his 39th.
That's good. Got a little note here. The Zephyrs were first in Denver. Was named for a gale force wind.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you for sending that in to us.
So
there
they
we
just
go.
sort
There's
of-
social media right there.
There you go. So they just sort of extended that tradition thanks to the ride in New Orleans. It's good to know. Francisco Pena will try to cut into this again 6-run deficit facing the Storm Chasers. Struck out his last time up. He's got the 18 home runs. Second in the home run derby. Crooked numbers in the second, third, and fourth for New Orleans. And a 3 spot as well for Omaha.
Yeah, look like
in the
threes
third.
are wild tonight.
Threes are running tonight. There's no question. Lucky fan with a souvenir. A lot of them tonight. Not just foul balls either. A lot of home run balls out on the berm. Gary was right, though. The wind has been blowing right to left. So get it up in that jet stream and left to right center. It's going to go.
Boy, young owner, young entrepreneur. Had good businesses going in New York at both of the ballparks, big league ballparks. Now, one of the largest privately held building service companies in North America, Alliance.
Well, it's come a long way since minor league baseball was nothing but an afterthought. Rodriguez can't handle it. And Pena with good speed. But that's going to be ruled an error and a leadoff man aboard for Omaha.
Yeah, tried to rush that a little bit. He gets it, and you can see him come up and just a little sidearm, had some sink on it. Almost a good pickup by Canna.
Now Brian Bocock. First error of the ball game for either team. Bocock struck out back in the third inning. One big inning for Omaha. Bocock from Harrisonburg, Virginia. If memory serves, that's the hometown of one Ralph Sampson.
Aha.
Both teams already into their respective bullpens. We talked a lot in the open about the two starters and what we expected, and saw that briefly in both, but each was knocked out. Rhett Varner on the hill now for New Orleans.
They each showed us a little bit of potential and why that they're thought of so highly, and then game kind of got away a little bit. Two pretty good baseball teams here that swing the bat, though. Pretty much the same philosophy. And you don't see a lot of guys taking too many pitches that are strikes.
One, two. Talked about the ownership of the Storm Chasers. They've got to be proud that this will be the spot for the AAA All-Star game next year.
Well, you can really do a lot around that kind of event, as we just saw the other night.
Blew the high heat past him. Second strikeout for Bocock. And there's one out.
Did you watch the All-Star game the other night?
I did. I still enjoy the All-Star game. The baseball All-Star game.
Yes.
Where they actually try to win and play defense. I'm not a fan of the home field advantage decided on an exhibition game for the World Series.
I'm not either. It is an exhibition game where people want to come and make the home run contest competitive a little bit, but let guys have fun. But don't do that with the game. I'm just not a fan of that either. And Adam Wainwright is unjustly, in my opinion, being criticized for a sarcastic remark, more or less, or a tongue-in-cheek
sort of a
remark.
lighthearted remark, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm going to lay it in there and let him just get a base hit. I mean,
Talking about Jeter.
Anybody knows Adam Wainwright is one of the classiest people. He's got a uniform on. And I saw so many people in the media ripping him. But you were not one of them, my
No,
friend,
sir.
so I appreciate that.
Foul ground. Skipworth runs out of room. Omaha trying to battle back. It's the only team in the PCL that ranks in the top 5 in both team batting average and team earned run average. Third at 4 runs a game, and that took a beating tonight.
Yes, it did.
Giannis had the base hit back in the 3rd and broke up the double play with a hard slide that kept the inning alive and allowed Christian Colon to go yard with 2 out.
Nasty pitch right there on the outside part. I tell you, watching him when he was with Cincinnati, when Paul hits that ball the other way, though, he's so effective as he did the first time up.
And perhaps with that in mind, Dwyer misses inside. Zephyrs have handled the Storm Chasers this year. They are 6-2 coming in to tonight's game. In fact, line shot.
Wow.
They banged him, double play. Crowd disagrees. So do the Storm Chasers. Brian Herzog, the crew chief at first, is going to get an earful. But that's going to do it for Omaha. 9-3, New Orleans leads it. Back with more of the minor league game of the week. Oh, I don't know about that, but we'll take another look when we come back on the CBS Sports Network.
Take time to be a dad today.
Back in Omaha, where Brian Polberg is not giving up on the argument with the umpiring crew. And in fact, he and Tommy Gregg at one point were talking to all three umpires about the line drive that led to the double play. Take another look. And
well, there's the throw.
Is he on the bag? Does he have control of the baseball? The ball at one point popped out of his mitt.
I think he had control. This is a real good look at it right here. He seems slide in. I tell you what, it's closer than I thought it was when I look at the replay. You know, it looked like his foot didn't quite all the way get to the bag. So he may not be as far off as we think.
No, but what was interesting is a tough angle for Brian Herzog, the first base umpire, and he might have snuck a peek down to Thomas Newsom behind the plate, looking for a little bit of help on that play. But as it stands, 9-3 New Orleans with a lead and a new pitcher. There you see him for the Storm Chasers, Wilking Rodriguez, 6'1", 180 out of Venezuela, was with a Gulf Coast League Rays team, rookie league ball last year.
Pretty good jump right there and got some good numbers.
Trying to keep the Storm Chasers close, but once again for the second time tonight, they trail by 6 runs, and now New Orleans will try to extend it. Kyle Skipworth to lead things off.
Are we in the 5th inning already?
A lot of offense in this game.
These guys are smoking. 10 hits already now for the Zephyrs.
Everybody in the lineup with a base hit tonight except this young man. Home runs are something, though, that the Zephyrs have been doing this year. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment.
Nice arm on this kid. First pitch comes out of the box throwing 95. That'll work.
MILB.com news from around the league for this past week. Andrew Velasquez, a young man we saw last week in Dayton, breaks the minor league on-base streak record. Singled Sunday. On base, a minor league record 72 straight games for the South Bend Silverhawks.
You know what's amazing? I love minor league ball too. You throw 2 pitches, 193, 195, and you're not even close to the plate. So you come back with a good breaking ball. And that was nasty, whatever it was.
Monday cycle day in the minors. Grant Kay, playing for the Hudson Valley Renegades, hit for the cycle in his very first professional game. Meanwhile, Albert Almora and Mark Zagunas did the same thing for Cubs affiliates, one in Daytona and one in Boise.
Now
they both hit for the cycle. That makes a total of 15 this year, minor leaguers who have hit for the cycle.
That blows me away.
On the run, Merrifield. Covered a lot of ground to pull that in. 1 out.
Dick, did you say 15?
15. That's what it says right here.
That's not easily done, but already in the minor leagues, 15, which shows you that you've got some pretty good hitters, some pretty fast hitters, or maybe the pitching's not real good.
Alan Dykstra wins the AAA Derby, just beating out Francisco Pena. He's a Mets prospect. Saw him a couple of weeks ago with Las Vegas. International League beat the PCL 7-3 in a AAA All-Star game. More than 10,000 packed Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
Oh, man.
Joey Gallo helped the U.S. team beat the world team in the Futures game. He's the Rangers' #2 prospect. Went deep, 2-run shot, and a 3-2 win for the U.S. Javi Baez also went deep up at Target Field. We saw him with the Iowa Cubs. He's a star of the future. You saw them, both of those players right here in front of our cameras.
Yes, we did. We've seen some pretty good prospects this year, and a bunch of them already in the big leagues and making contributions to their ball clubs.
Future stars of tomorrow in the minors. Of course, the major league game in Indianapolis with the captain, Derek Jeter. Look at his minor league trail. Greensboro to Tampa to Columbus to New York. Minor League Baseball and its fans saluting number 2, Derek Jeter. Minneapolis, pretty good spot for the All-Star game. And, of course, Cincinnati next year.
Next year, that's right. And they are already pumped. And if you ask somebody for a ticket right now, they might smack you.
MILB.com, your home to all the latest news, stats, and schedules from around the minors. Check it out today at MILB.com and stay up to date on all the action.
I did have one question about Minneapolis, why they didn't put one of those retractable domes on there.
Cannot answer that. I wondered that as I watched the rain come down the night before.
Boy, it's nasty.
Isn't it, though? Danny Black down on strikes. 2 out.
95, and then what looks like maybe a split finger is probably just a breaking ball. He just can't pull the trigger. Out in front looking for 95, and he gets 85.
So 2 outs now and nobody on. That's how things got started in the 3rd inning for New Orleans, which went yard back-to-back. Zephyrs had 3 homers on Sunday that equaled their home run total for all of 2013 with 105, most in franchise history at the All-Star break. This makes 10 straight games where the Z's have hit a home run, and 14 of their last 15.
Boy, he's got a good rhythm going right now. See if he's.
0-2, 2 out. Chance to go 1-2-3 against New Orleans for the first time tonight. Could do it. Giannis. And for the first time this evening, Omaha pitchers retire the Zephyrs 1-2-3, and we'll take a break. New Orleans still up by 6 here in Omaha. Back with more on the CBS Sports Network. Gorgeous evening in Omaha. There's a great look at the gateway to the west.
That is really pretty.
And they're having fun tonight. Even Ronald McDonald gets a lift. Here at Warner Park in Omaha, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. For all we know, Lauren's driving that truck.
Haven't seen Lauren with any food tonight. She's not sneaking off
there
on
was
us,
a
is she?
huge steak and a huge ear of corn in the back of that truck. So if she's not driving that truck, she's chasing it.
I see.
Rumor has it that she is going to, or that the concessionaires here will test her mettle, as they say. That they're going to come at her with some treats that I don't even know if Lauren can handle. And she's seen some of the best that minor league baseball has to offer. That's for sure.
My money's on Lauren tonight.
I like it. Whit Merrifield singled in the first, scored a run in the 3rd. Leadoff hitter for Omaha. 4 of 11 in the shortened series against Colorado Springs. Couldn't wait to get back to Warner Park, where he was 11 for 31 in the last homestand. A double, a triple, a homer. Drove in 4.
You notice how many more of these hitters we're seeing with the open stance. And I noticed in the All-Star game, the home run hitting contest, there were a lot of those guys doing it too.
See a lot in college too.
Yep. See the ball better, and then your first move is toward the pitchers instead of pulling away.
Merrifield had the 2nd best batting average in the PCL in June when he batted .392, led Omaha with 10 doubles. Spent 44 games with Northwest Arkansas, the Double-A team, earlier this year. Off the end of the bat, Kyle Jensen squeezing. Now Christian Colon, a 2-run homer back in the 3rd inning. And like all the other homers, you knew it as soon as he swung the bat.
Yeah, no doubt. Every one of them have had just that sound to it of, ouch, been hit hard.
Colon, the native of Puerto Rico. Were you able to find out if he's related to your lovely bride?
I don't think so. I have to find out where that is.
Or at least a neighbor of her family.
Yeah, I will find out if that is close to where.
That's a long shot. A lot of people from Puerto Rico.
Now her family from, well, they lived in Bayamon, but they were from Ponce, Puerto Rico.
Colon playing 6 games with a big club this year. Got his first taste of Major League Baseball action. Actually went 4 for 12 up in the bigs.
That works. There's another one.
What do you think?
I think it's gone.
I think it's gone. His 2nd shot of the night, same spot. This time with the bases empty. And that makes it a 9-4 game. You like home runs, you're in the right place tonight.
You wonder if he's had many multi-home run games before. That is fun. Boy, I mean, just a good swing.
Give him 3 runs batted in tonight.
That little short stride, chokes up on the bat. Off the hands. That was a kind of a poor effort out there in the outfield, wasn't it?
Colon was the Omaha Player of the Year last season, so named by the Kansas City Royals. The year before that was a Northwest Arkansas Player of the Year and a Texas League All-Star, so that's why the Royals are so high on him. Now Johnny Giaffatella right at Valdesman. 2 down.
Good look at him. Having a nice night. Yeah, check that camera out. We got you, baby. We're watching.
You like it when those middle infielders have a good time.
Well, I like it because there's some of us that didn't get to do that. So I'm envious of those that do.
Matt Fields doubled his last time up, got to 3rd base on a pass ball, but stranded in the 3-run 3rd. 1 for 2 in the evening. Designated hitter tonight for the Storm Chasers. Fields at 1 point tearing up the minors for Tampa Bay and signed on with the Royals. Working his way up from the 44th round of the draft. Let's go downstairs to Lauren. Lauren.
Well, as Mike Jershally attested earlier tonight in the booth with the interview with you guys, that it is not an easy road when you're in the minors. And Matt Fields knows that after 6 years in the Tampa Bay organization, he just up and quit baseball. He said he had enough. Well, after that, he found himself a job as a baggage handler at the SeaTac Airport in Seattle. And it didn't take long for him to decide that he wanted to make a return to baseball. So he thought he would try it out. He just wanted to have fun with it and joined an independent league out west and was picked up again within the system. And here he is.
Outstanding. I tell you, you don't realize how much you can miss this game until you get away from it.
Well, and you look at the talent, the skills he had. He just needed, I guess, a little more patience. And then last year ends up leading the Royals organization in home runs with 31. Led AA baseball in home runs. So.
And you know, we saw Brad Penny here too, and
yep.
And there's a guy that was the same thing, just needed to step away from it for a little bit and realize that he missed it, and is trying to make a comeback.
Going to start tomorrow night as an opportunity to try to work his way back, a former big leaguer.
A former dominating pitcher at one time in the big leagues.
Fields works him for a walk. Inning still alive for Omaha. With a run in, 2 out. Paulo Orlando drew a walk his last time up. Red Varner still on the hill for New Orleans. Andrew Haney, the starter, knocked out in the 3rd inning. Varner's first walk of the night. Diaz just barely retires Orlando. That'll do it for the Storm Chasers, but they scratch again thanks to the big fly by Cologne. We'll go to the 6th. 9-4 Zephyrs on the minor league baseball game of the week. A dizzying array of talent here in Omaha. As you like that? As the Zephyrs lead the Storm Chasers 9-4. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner joined in the booth now by Marty Cordero, president and GM of the Omaha Storm Chasers. And Marty, you were the first guy. You let us in the gate this afternoon.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You're all over the ballpark. What is a normal game like for you? Game night?
Well, a night like tonight, it's great because I don't have sores on my backside from watching the radar. You know, fan safety and player safety and staff safety is very important. But you know, a lot of times it's either greeting people at the gates. I like working in the parking lot, spending time at the front gates, greeting fans, taking tickets. You know, just being a part of the entire experience.
You cannot put one hat on and have the job that you have.
Not in minor league baseball. You know, someone told me many years ago, if you can work for a long time in minor league baseball, 5-10 years, and you get into management, you can really work in almost any business. And now I know, you know, the first thing I would apply for if I ever left would be a meteorology job. I tell you, I never knew that I was going to learn so much about weather and patterns.
Your Denny Valderspin leading things off for the Zephyrs here in the top of the 6th. You know, I was going to ask you about that because obviously, you know, we've been all over the country, but I'm wondering about the weather here in Nebraska where things can pop up quickly and can be really severe all of a sudden.
It can. And, you know, we're now on the westernmost part of the city, and it's something we watch very closely. And, you know, sometimes that, you know, we have to make decisions before maybe they in the past when we were at Rosenblatt. And, you know, it's just been a learning period.
It's got to be fun, though, being in this ballpark now. We've talked to several people about the fact that you get here and the championships start to arrive. You've got the ring. You've got your championship shirt on. A source of great pride in the community as Valderspin cranks one. And Orlando can't handle it. They'll keep him at second base, leadoff man aboard for the Zephyrs.
That ball was hit right at him, hit on the nose, and was curving. And one of the toughest balls to be able to judge or play is the ball hit right at you. You see him, he looks like he's got a pretty good beat on it. And the ball just gets off the end of his glove.
Been a rough night for Storm Chaser pitchers. And now Juan Diaz will stand in as we talk to Marty Cordero.
Did you learn anything from Alan Stein at all?
Who's that?
Thank you.
The Phantom owner.
He's the guy that's
owner,
on the beach right now, the Phantom former owner.
You know, Alan has been one of my biggest teachers, biggest mentors, educators. But, you know, he's...
In spite of that, you turned out all right anyway.
He's been a great friend above all of that. And he's been a great friend to minor league baseball and professional baseball for a number of years.
No doubt. No doubt. We call him Mr. Baseball around home. He just... What he did with that program in Lexington and what he's done across the country, I don't know of anyone that loves the game more than he does.
I would agree with that. You know, all of our suites here are named after people that either played at Rosenblatt, were in the Kansas City system, or had some type of Nebraska connection, like Wade Boggs was born here in Omaha. except for one suite, the Frank Robinson suite, and that's because that's Alan's favorite player of all time. And he still carries the baseball card, one of his early baseball cards in his wallet. Alan's had in his wallet for like 80 years. No, I'm kidding. About 30 years. And then we also have Steinisms, the right field wall and the left field walls. Those were ideas of Alan Stein when you're looking here at the Werner Park design from 4 years back.
Well, we asked Gary a little bit about it. He said, was the walls by design or not? And he said, he started telling us a little bit about some of the Steinisms that were around here. Having not seen all of the ballpark, I'm sure there's a few more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What has been your favorite part of watching the success here at Werner Park? Obviously, the championships are nice, but it's all just fallen into place.
Other than the family fun, which is what minor league baseball is predicated on, it really has been about an identity for this franchise forming. After 42 years at Rosenblatt and leaving without an identity after 42 years, it was really about, who is our fan base? What is our fan base? And the fans not only have had great things to cheer about with the tremendous talent, and I know you talked to Mike Jersley about that earlier tonight, but, it's been about fun. And tonight, they were out because of great weather. They were out because of great fun. The Clydesdales were out tonight. A nationally televised game, the first in the 46-year history, and the fans have really bought into that.
Mike Jersley's a special person, isn't he?
Absolutely. I did better than I thought I would in the pregame ceremony. Thought I'd get a little emotional, and I've been saying this since October. The highlight of the season, obviously, from a team perspective, was the national championship. Yes. But Mike Jersley is right there even with that, with him becoming a Major League rookie, and that's what we've been calling him this year, as a Major League rookie, and just a great story.
36 years in the minors as a player, coach, and manager, and he finally gets the call. And as I understand it, when he first was told that the big league GM wanted to talk to him and they missed connections, he never called him back because he wasn't sure what he wanted. He just didn't want to let himself think that maybe that's the call he's been waiting for literally all his life.
Absolutely, he's been passed up, as I would say, a number of times, and this was not the time that he was passed up. And he was at Disney World. I don't know if he told you that part of the story when he got the call.
No, he didn't say that.
With his family. So, he was already at Disney World.
Arcana dumps it into the left center gap. They're going to send a runner, and it's double digits now for the Zephyrs. They lead it 10-4. Hate to bring this up, but they've had their way with you this year, haven't they?
They absolutely have. First series back a couple months ago was kind of the same, and let's hope it's first game back rust. You watch a player like Paulo Orlando. We do not win the AAA National Championship last year without his defense and Chris Dwyer's 6 2/3 perfect baseball. So the play in the first batter of this inning, that was a little unusual for Paulo. So let's hope it's just all-star break rust.
And that's probably true, because I know the first games you come back, a lot of guys have not been swinging the bat. They haven't been doing anything but getting away from the game. So I can understand that. And I've been there, and I've done the same thing.
Kyle Jensen has homered twice, drawn a walk. A run in, one out. We're talking to Marty Cordero, the president GM of the Omaha Storm Chasers. And you were telling us you're from Louisiana, but you've worked really all over the country. And I'm wondering what sort of things you brought from your other stops to Omaha that's helped you here.
From a sales perspective and promotion and marketing, I learned a lot of that in Jackson, Tennessee, under a gentleman named David Hirsch. That was the first job I had, and then I had the privilege of working with Tony Enzer. Tony's a GM over in Colorado Springs, and he taught me a lot, about teamwork in the organization and special events. There were a number of special events we had to manage through there in Birmingham, and then I got my first crack at being a general manager, and that was the Class A team for Tampa Bay. That was in Battle Creek, Michigan. And that's when I went to work for Alan Stein. Alan Stein and Bill Shea hired me to go to Battle Creek, and learned a lot, failed a lot, succeeded.
That's how you learn. Yeah.
Succeeded a little bit, and then at that time, Bill Shea and Alan Stein acquired the Omaha club, and I had an opportunity to move here. And I tell you, I did move here as a general manager, but it was a fantastic opportunity, and I did not know I was going to get myself into a stadium saga issue. But again, that was another learning experience, and now my wife calls this home, and the cement that was around my ankles is now around my knees. So I don't know that we'll be going anywhere anytime soon.
So do you and Andy Shea stay in contact still? And talk?
We do. Yeah, we do. Andy's a friend, and, I wish we had more time to travel. I'd love to get back to Lexington and see the ballpark, especially now with the Royals being in the second year of their affiliation there in Lexington with the Legends. But Andy, and then, we traded their creative services gentleman by the name of Ty Cobb.
Oh, yeah.
Ty was an intern here, and we didn't have a spot for him, so we traded Ty at the end of that season for a bottle of Maker's Mark, a box of Cuban cigars, and the movie Anger Management, all in honor of the real Ty Cobb.
That's an excellent trade. Is 2 down now, second strikeout of the inning for Rodriguez. I have to ask you now, do I understand it correctly? Did you introduce here at the ballpark a new beer tonight?
We did. We have Ale Storm. Ale Storm is our partnership with Nebraska Brewing Company. And they're a great partner here at the ballpark. And it tonight, for the first time in cans, and it's going to be going to Omaha markets, and it's going to be in 13 states here in the next 2 to 3 months. And that's the beauty of minor league baseball, because you're able to form partnerships. It's a partnership.
Yep.
They're not just borrowing the name. It has Vortex on it, but it's a great beer. It's a great a beer to drink, a couple in the ballpark and have a great time with friends.
Well, that's the thing that has really impressed me probably the most of all the trips we're making, is how fan-friendly the ballparks are here, much more than the big leagues.
Well, between the Centris Family Fun Zone, the Borsheim's Wiffle Ball Diamond, between the basketball court, you can imagine where the basketball came from. That was another Steinism. And,
of course.
The grass berms, we can sit up to 1,800 on our grass berms here, the AT&T home run porch. We could go on and on and on, but, the biggest difference between Rosenblatt and here was having the amenities that we did not have to offer our fans, and then the concourses. The concourses are wide and spacious for fans to really be able to go around in a park-like setting, not as much in a stadium-like setting.
Well, one question that sort of comes to mind, with a lot of the ball clubs moving back into the cities and downtown, you sort of built this one out a little bit.
We did. A lot of folks don't realize nearly 70% of our fan base was from west of 72nd Street, and we moved to where our fan base was coming from. Omaha, over the past 30 years, has moved west from a family's perspective, and we did a lot of demographic work, a lot of market research to truly make a decision. Is this the right move, or was one out of the state? And I tell you, we made the right decision, absolutely the right decision. And Werner Enterprises stepped up and is now the naming rights partner of beautiful Werner Park.
Zach Cox at the plate for the Zephyrs. RBI double his last time up. He scored a couple of runs. Talking with Marty Cordero, the president GM of the Omaha Storm Chasers, and locally brewed. We've seen several ballparks with some of the local brews. In fact, we were in, I think it was it Myrtle Beach, where they actually grow their own hops at the ballpark. So that's become a popular thing among the minor leaguers.
It's just fantastic, to have those local community relationships. It's different. It's different than at the big league level. It definitely is.
As we said, you have worked in various places around the country, and one thing I learned this from Alan Stein is that you guys get together as minor league executives once a year, and really all your staff members, and you swap ideas, which I think is great. They say there are no original ideas in minor league baseball, and I don't believe that. But I think it's great you guys get together and share, and then pick and choose the ones you like, the ones you think will fit your market and your ballpark.
We do. And, there was one original idea that I've had. It was the balloon bust. I'm not sure if we've done the balloon bust yet tonight, but there's one. Dick, there's one original idea, but it's all about what fits your market. You can take a Star Wars night, or you can take a Princess night, or you can take a particular theme night, and you can make it mold to what your market is. And that's what we all do, whether it be through the promotional seminar, the GM seminars of the respective leagues, or with the national winter meetings that happen in December. It's such a great fraternity, sorority, whatever you want to call it, that this industry is.
Josh Rodriguez looking for his second base hit. RBI single back in the third inning as Storm Chasers trying to shut down the Zephyrs again in a 10-4 ball game. If you like offense, this is a good night to come to the ballpark. Wind blowing out, the home runs are flying out as well.
You know, you look at a pitcher like Rodriguez, who's got a great arm, but still trying to find out his niche, isn't he? If he can throw strikes and everybody is just, they either get it or they don't get it at this level, and you just wonder, you see what kind of arm he's got, and you think, man, he ought to be dominating.
Giannis goes the easy way, gets out number 3, and we want to thank you, Marty, for having us. First
Thank
of all,
you very
thanks for
much.
popping
Really
into the
appreciate
booth.
it.
Thank you so
Doug,
much.
Marty,
so
thank you,
much.
buddy. Great to see you again.
Appreciate you visiting Warner Park in Omaha.
All right, hope to
Hopefully
see you
we'll
again.
come back.
We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Storm Chasers trailing the Zephyrs 10-4. Minor League Baseball game of the week on the CBS Sports Network. Back in New Orleans. We're in New Orleans. New Orleans beating Omaha right now 10-4. Get the latest news, stats, scores, schedules, and video highlights from every minor league team at MILB.com, the official website of minor league baseball. Follow baseball's top prospects and experience more of what makes minor league baseball great for the whole family. Visit MILB.com today. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner, where the Zephyrs put up 3 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 1 more in the 6th, countering the 4 runs scored by the Storm Chasers. And as we begin the run of games following the All-Star game, the Zephyrs looking for their 7th win of the season against Omaha, which, by the way, is in first place in its respective division. Zephyrs in 3rd in the American South, but just a game and a half out of first place behind Nashville. Storm Chasers, the defending national champions. They won the PCL. And they knocked off Durham of the IL 2-1. That's what's interesting about that championship game. It's winner take all.
That's right. Yeah, and you know, you don't really back into a championship, but
Well, they did kind of back into the playoffs, but then they just tore it up.
it's good to get hot at the right time.
Yeah, but they needed help from Oklahoma City and got it. OKC comes back and beats Memphis. Comes back from a 4-0 deficit with 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 9th. And then because of that victory, Omaha makes the playoffs and then sweeps Oklahoma City right out in the first
How about
round.
that? That's why they play the games.
Yep.
Tell you what, he's coming here and getting loose. Varner didn't look like he was throwing that hard early. Now he's got a good fastball and a good slider to go along with it.
Justin Maxwell still looking for his first base hit of the night. Strikeout, fly ball. You know, it's fun to talk to guys like Marty and Gary about their ballpark, their market, their team, their fans. And, you know, we run into the same enthusiasm everywhere we go. That's, I think, the thing that excites me the most about minor league baseball.
You know, I was about to say the same thing. Good cut at a high fastball. Is that if it's exciting to them and they can make it exciting for their fans and for the players that come in here to play. So, you know, you never see them act like that they're tired of their jobs.
Well, we were in Memphis when we saw the GM there in a suit and tie helping to pull the tarp onto the field.
That was impressive. Just took off his shoes, rolled up his pants leg, and said, let's go.
Went to work. Brett Varner from Bedford, Texas, played his college baseball at UT Arlington. Made an appearance against Oklahoma City on the 10th of July. And he loses Maxwell, so leadoff man aboard for Omaha.
Got a 6-run lead. That's something you don't want to start doing, is picking and trying to be too picky about throwing the ball over the plate. He can only hit a 1-run homer. He can't hit a 6-run homer. I'm sure those are things that drive pitching coaches crazy and managers.
Varner came on in the 3rd inning with 2 out. So he's pushing to match his longest outing of the season. Pena into short right field. Kyle Jensen, 1 out. Back on the 30th of June, Varner went 2 1/3 against Round Rock. Gave up 1 earned run, struck out a couple. Giving up the 1 run here against Omaha. That was the home run by Cologne. Now Brian Bokaki has struck out twice. Trying to get on track. Batted just 160 in 7 games with Northwest Arkansas. They brought him up to New Orleans, or rather to Omaha. 2 outs. Number 9 hitter Yanish singled in the 3rd, lined into a controversial double play back in the 4th that ended the inning.
Well, as you talked about earlier, and as well as Lauren, about him working on his offense and thinking more of a hitter and an offensive player. His defense has always been good. It's shown tonight in just 2 balls he's hit on the button.
Giannis spending last year in the Braves organization, both with Gwinnett, AAA, and the big team. Began the year on the disabled list. Nice backhanded stop by Rodriguez, and that'll do it for the Storm Chasers here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. Zephyrs 10, Omaha 4. Back with more of the minor league baseball game of the week on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Omaha, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. Home team down 6 runs again. New Orleans has come in and just hammered away at this Omaha pitching, taking advantage of the wind that's blowing out toward left field. Extra base hits up and down the batting order for the Zephyrs. Now let's go downstairs to Lauren Gardner for the much awaited look at some of the concessions here at Warner Park. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, guys. I think you get about as excited as I do for this part of the broadcast. And I'm alongside Ryan Slane with Ovations Food Services. Ryan, I'm looking at a burger that is not your average everyday burger here. Let's take a look at that. That is how many? Three patties?
Yeah, it's 3 patties. We decided to create a burger that would help symbolize the championship win last year. So it was the 3rd year of the ballpark, so we figured 3 patties. We topped it with ham, bacon, and fried onion rings, and then stuck a knife through it because it's about the only way you could hold it together. So
My cholesterol just shot up. That looks incredible. Okay, and we're going to bring this in here because
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The Champ Burger pales in comparison to this thing. What am I holding? Do we need a forklift?
you need help. This is the Sarpy Slugger. It's a 2-foot, 1-pound sausage or a hot dog that we sell out here, and you can get it topped with any of the 2 toppings that you want. This one we topped like an Omaha dog with pulled pork and nacho cheese.
Oh my goodness, this looks incredible. So, I mean, you can't just grab this thing and bite into it. You need a fork and knife, right?
It's a fork and knife type of thing, as well as you need some friends to help you put it down.
Oh my goodness, this thing is incredible. How many do you sell an evening?
We usually sell 1 or 2 an evening, so.
Just 1 or 2. I mean, it will feed an entire section.
Usually once one person sees it, then of course a couple other people want to try it. So it's a little bit
Compulsive. I think that's okay. I don't even know how to go about this. I feel like I need a team of people to help me here.
You're on your own, kid.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
All right. I knew she'd attack it.
I didn't get much there. But what I did get was incredible. You have some cheese.
All right, try the Champ Burger
Okay, I guess
now.
we're going for the Champ Burger,
All
I'm
right,
being
we're
told. Hang on.
Well,
My
we'll tell you-
arteries are clogging as we speak.
Well, while we do that,
Okay. Oh, he cut one in slices for me.
oh, nice. We got the
Well,
new
thank you.
pitcher. While
Okay, you
you're,
hold
you
that.
ready? Okay.
This is a 2-hand deal here. Oh my
Tim Collins on the bump now for Omaha as Lauren grapples with the champ burger. Worcester,
my
Massachusetts native. All right, how's that going, kid? She's speechless.
Oh, my God.
She's speechless. That's fantastic.
I'll let you guys take it from here.
Okay,
I'm good.
Hey, great job. She's going to be up at 3 a.m. running around the hotel just to work that off. That's the way she rolls. Thanks, Lauren. Tim Collins, as we mentioned, the new pitcher for Omaha, trying to shut down this New Orleans offense. Not off to a great start with a walk, his 8th of the year. But look at that ERA in 19 innings.
Yeah, 29 strikeouts too. So he's got the job done so far, and he's trying to get some work in here, but also shut down an offense. It's been pretty potent.
And now Danny Black, he owns one of the 4 home runs hammered tonight by New Orleans. 2-run shot back in the 2nd inning.
Look at that.
What
That
can
is
you do?
absolutely
What can you
amazing.
do?
You know, I've seen them come back before, but I don't think I've ever seen one come back that far.
So the infield single by Black. He hammers one well out of the yard.
Watch this
in the
ball.
second.
It's
Oh.
obviously cued.
Look at that.
Look how far foul it is. And now once it gets back towards the grass, you got no shot.
No.
That's when you're
Giavatello
going
knew
good.
it too. He knew it.
Oh, yeah. Look at him look at the dugout. That look was priceless. Like, are you kidding me? Stay around the game a little long. You will see something that you've never seen before.
It's been that kind of night for both teams. Top of the order now. Jake Marsnick. A double, 1 for 4 tonight. Scored a run back in the 4th inning. Seven of the 9 hitters in this Zephyrs lineup have extra base hits. That'll stay close to the infield. Colon finally pulls it in. And there's 1 out. So now Yordany Valdesman, who has 2 doubles, and he scored 2 runs. 2 for 4 on the night.
Boy, you saw a good look at just the wind that's blowing out here in this ballpark. When you get one that high, you got to keep your feet moving as much as you can to try to stay underneath that baseball, because any little gust is going to blow it offline a little bit.
Valdesman's doubles 2 of the 5 registered tonight by New Orleans, along with those 4 home runs. 13 base hits overall. Boy, he was trying to get to the fences again on that swing.
He got a first pitch fastball and held nothing back on that.
Collins, the 4th pitcher of the night for Omaha. .5'7", 170. He also pitched against Colorado Springs back on the 13th. Went 3 innings. Shutout baseball, struck out 4.
Wow.
Another extra base hit. Another home run.
That ball was hammered.
We've said that a lot tonight, haven't we?
You know, and we haven't exaggerated either.
No. That was not into the jet stream, but still, that was up on the berm and then some. 3rd extra base hit of the night for Valdesman, a 3-run bomb. And
He
it's
gets
a
a high-
13-4 game. Look at that.
Just a high fastball that he just, man, shows some good power. You know, out of all the home runs we've seen tonight, none of them have been hit deep and maybe. I mean, they've been gone since they left the bat.
Yep. So bases clear now with one out for Juan Diaz. He doubled back in the first inning, but was stranded. One of only 2 frames in which New Orleans has not scored. Diaz a couple of strikeouts. Popped out to the catcher.
Oh, that's a pitch he's been looking for.
Yep.
Get ahead and then drop that big curveball on him. Watch the legs buckle here a little bit.
Diaz out of the Dominican Republic, played for the Columbus team last year. Lauren has just delivered the rest of that burger. You got some work to do, young man. But I like your chances.
Oh, good. She brings me the napkin the size of a postage stamp. Yeah.
I'm amazed that she could find her way up here after hammering into.
Why are you sticking all this over by me?
Oh, no, because it was on my it was on my notes. That's all I was. That's why I was moving it. Go after it.
This is for my old buddy Duke Gonzalez.
Oh. Pretty good, huh?
Oh.
Mark Canna. Nice pickup by Giavotella. And once again, Omaha out of the inning, but not before the Zephyrs can hang up 3 more. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. On that lovely memory. She's chowing down in Omaha, 13-4 Zephyrs. Back in Omaha, where the Zephyrs have had their way with the Storm Chasers tonight. 13-4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. And a new pitcher again for New Orleans, Brian Evans, making his 25th appearance on the evening. We'll try to get you caught up on him as Mr. Flynn tackles the, what's it called? The Champ Burger, is that right?
It is definitely the Champ Burger, and it is a champ.
What do you think? Pretty good?
I think, have I had a bite on camera yet?
I don't know. See if you can finish it. It's got the burger, 3 patties, the bacon, the cheese, 2 kinds of cheese, I believe. And and the onion rings. Yeah, not too shabby.
Outstanding.
I've heard of sugar comas. Can you go into a beef coma? Now, what did your mom tell you about about broadcasting with your mouth full?
She does watch, and she'll say, "Who taught you that?" It wasn't you, Mama dear.
Whit Merrifield looking for his second base hit tonight. Singled in the first, scored a run in the 3rd inning. Facing Brian Evans from Mission Viejo, California. Played his college ball at UC Davis. Hammered. Marsnick on the run. Extras for Merrifield. Leadoff double.
It's a good-looking little ball player, isn't he?
Making his bid for a trip to the Bigs.
He's having an outstanding year. He was hitting 370 as he went into this game. A couple more knocks tonight.
Now Christian Colon. Back-to-back home runs tonight. One in the 3rd, one in the 5th. Each of his last 2 at-bats. Last time the Storm Chasers played here at Warner Park, Colon did not make an appearance in that homestand. Coming off an 0-for-4 performance Sunday. Had a 14-game hitting streak early this year. Tied his AAA career high. That came back in June.
Boy, you just know when you're seeing the ball. You watch the way he takes pitches, you can tell he's seeing the ball extremely well.
You know, we talked about Merrifield. He came up to Omaha June 7th. Since then, 52 base hits.
Wow. That was a good off-speed pitch, too. Seeing a lot of pitchers being used tonight. Of course, a lot of them need some work, too.
Yep. Coming out of the break. Third pitcher of the night for New Orleans. 14th round draft pick back in 08 was Brian Evans.
You know, 08 seems like it was so long ago.
My guess is that goes for him too, trying to work his way up to the bigs. Off speed through the hole.
Another base hit.
They're going to hold Merrifield. Runners at the corners, nobody out for the Storm Chasers.
You know, his home run last time up was on a slider. Hit the first one on a fastball. The next home run on a slider that time, got something off speed. He really keeps his hands back well, even though his body kind of goes a little forward. It's hard to do, but he does it extremely well.
Now Johnny Giavotella, the third baseman, 0 for 2 tonight. Drew a walk, scored a run back into third. The one big inning for Omaha. New Orleans has had 4 3-run innings.
What's a dandy beard right there, man. That might win the award so far this year.
Giavotella, second round draft pick in 08. You know, his sophomore year at New Orleans, Giavotella was named the top second baseman in the country among sophomores by Baseball America. Had a big year in 2010. Career highs in homers, runs batted in, runs and hits. Four-pitch walk. Now bases full of Storm Chasers with nobody out.
It may bring some action up in the Zephyr bullpen. They've got a nice lead, but.
Well, this is a guy who can make things interesting in a hurry. Matt Fields. 1 for 2 tonight with a double. 18 home runs on the year. Native of Seattle, Washington.
I'm just picking away. You don't mind, do you?
There's a lot of burger there. You got a lot of work ahead of you.
Well, you hate to see something so good go to waste.
Hey.
And I'm a team player, so that's why I'm
You have
helping
my
you out.
blessing. You jump in there. Lauren got it started. I think she's off somewhere
Look for more.
with that hot dog. Looking for a section of fans to help her finish it off. She's right, though. You could feed a whole section on that hot dog.
That's true. Still no action in the Zephyr bullpen right now. So, Brian Evans, your job to get him out of this inning.
'44th round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Rays. Back in '04. Just keeps hammering away at it.
Yep. Man, where else can you go and make, a good living and do something that you enjoy doing, though? So, we got a good pitch to hit. Good fastball, beat him on the inside.
Just trying to drive something somewhere. Fields with 7 homers in June. He also had a 14-game hitting streak earlier this year. That's how he started off the 2014 season. Good pitch by Evans. Now he's ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Boy, he has steadily tried to stay on the outside corner. He's been missing it a little bit, then came in with a fastball. But you can tell what he's trying to do. Even though they have a big lead, he still wants to try to pitch his heart out and not give up too many runs. All these guys are still trying to make it to the big leagues.
Got him to chase. Big out for Evans. Now a double play takes him out of the inning. Paulo Orlando.
That pitch is, I don't know if it's going to be a strike, but it's sure going to be nasty to hit.
See that frustration written all over his face. Orlando 0 for 2 tonight, a walk back in the 3rd inning. There you see bases full of Storm Chasers. Quick meeting at the mound.
May have a pinch hitter here, Dick.
Yeah, indeed we do. So now they take down Orlando. They come up with a left-handed hitter, Carlos Peguero. Spent last season with Tacoma and made a brief appearance in Seattle with the big club. 6'5", 247. Well, you talk about all these big guys. Storm Chasers, they look good getting off the bus, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Peguero, we're told, is Spanish for hitter. Now, is that true, or did John in our truck just make that up? That's true, they're telling us. Okay. Even though they tell us he's 0 for 3 with bases loaded, so he'll try to change that up tonight. Actually, John did tell us, John Jagu told us before the game he was hoping he would see him tonight because he was excited that Peguero means hitter.
Ah. No, that would be Doug.
2-1 pitch from Evans.
Ooh, good cut at a fastball.
Yes, he did. You know, another thing, though, that's been interesting about all the home runs, they've all been absolute bombs, every one of them. But they've all been just really short strokes. It didn't look like they were trying to go yard.
No, a couple of hitters choked up and just had nice little short swing. You know who choked up to hit the ball a long way? Was Barry Bonds. Wow, it's a BB there, just barely foul.
Omaha Royals in 1999 changed their nickname to the Omaha Golden Spikes. Became the Royals again in 2002. Fans voted beginning in 2010. And that's when Storm Chasers won the contest.
You know, one of the teams that still continues to have the colors of their major league team, their parent team.
Yep.
We have seen some dandy looking uniforms this year.
Some of the uniforms just as creative as the nicknames.
You know, part of the marketing department's job to
Absolutely.
come up with something different each year. We see that on a collegiate level as well as a professional level.
Peguero's driven in 38. You saw where Skip Worth set up, and Evans hit the spot. Back-to-back strikeouts with bases loaded and nobody out. Now 2 down.
Boy, sometimes, I mean, it's almost the same pitch that we saw to Fields. That ball just really had some sink on it, turned it over. Seems to pitch better when he's in trouble.
Now Justin Maxwell trying to keep this opportunity from slipping through the hands of the Storm Chasers. Maxwell struck out in the second, fly ball in the third, drew a walk back in the sixth. Evans, it looks like, finally getting on track, hitting the spots he needs.
He's got a lot of movement. I mean, his ball sinks, and he also has one that cuts, so it's kind of a slinger. And a lot of movement on just about every pitch that he's thrown.
Evans' first appearance of late against the Storm Chasers. The last 10 games, he's thrown 3 times against Round Rock. And again, getting Maxwell to chase. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, you're right, Dick. Those pitches are off the plate. And catcher is sitting right out there. Skipworth is sitting outside of the strike zone, and he's throwing it right to his mitt. See if he goes back out there again.
Where he sets up.
He tried that sinker on the outside part. And now you got 3-2 with the bases loaded, 2 down. See if Maxwell will be disciplined enough to only swing at a strike. If right now, if you're a defensive player, you're sitting back on your heels just a little bit and going, please throw the ball over the plate. You got a 9-run lead.
That's what he does. Diaz. Bases loaded and nobody out, and Omaha cannot chase across anyone, and we'll go to the 8th inning. Zephyrs 13, Storm Chasers 4. It's the minor league baseball game of the week on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Omaha, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner. There's the story tonight. Your Danny Valdespin, just one of several Zephyrs having a big night to double the 3-run bomb. Kyle Jensen, a pair of homers, and Danny Black's got one as well. Clay Mortensen roughed up early, did not get to see him get out of the 3rd inning. Christian Cologne's done what he can with a solo home run and a 2-run shot. But right now, it's all Zephyrs here in Nebraska. Still, it's been a lot of fun here at Warner Park, just not the way the hometown fans wanted to see this game unfold.
No, had a good crowd here early. A lot of them seem to have maybe wandered on out the door.
Kyle Jensen to lead things off. Had those back-to-back home runs, 2nd inning and the 3rd inning. Drew a walk in the 4th. Caught looking in the 6th inning. We mentioned earlier the Zephyrs have been hitting a lot of home runs this year, but this is just one of those nights.
Yeah, every mistake that Mortensen made, or any of the pitchers, Dwyer, these guys were there to hammer it. Wow, that's
good
nasty.
Off-speed pitch, and for the 2nd straight time, he's caught looking.
That is a big old curveball. That's one of those 12-6 ones. Just can't pull the trigger. He sees it, gives up on it, knows it's a strike.
Tim Collins still on the mound for Omaha, facing Zach Cox. DH has had a big night. Pair of base hits. Has drawn 2 walks, scored 2 runs, driven in 2.
I'll tell you, he's just looked like a hitter ever since I've seen him as a sophomore in high school.
Yep. Got to watch him in the SEC tournament one year down at Hoover Met, where there's a big, tall sign in right center field that says Hoover. One of his home runs put a hole in one of those letters. And that's a shot to left. Merrifield looks up. Not going to catch that one. What a night for Zach Cox.
Wow, opposite field. And that shows you a little bit how the ball is carrying, because it didn't look like he hit that one too well.
Merrifield gave chase. He thought he was going to have a play. Zach Cox makes it 14-4. There you see it.
You see how he has to, well, that pitch doesn't look like it's hit too well.
He's just got a lot of power, yeah.
He does have some power.
Got it up in the wind. That helped. So now 1 in, 1 out for Josh Rodriguez. RBI single in the 3rd. 1 for 4 on the night. Drafted out of high school by Oakland in the 29th round. Didn't sign. Went to Rice University, hometown school down in Houston. How about a base hit number 2 tonight for Rodriguez?
I'll tell you, Dick, they've got 16 hits, and there hadn't been a lot of them that were cheap.
Nope.
The ball hit right on the button.
There was the infield single that began about 4 feet foul, and then
that's true.
The English brought it back. Kyle Skipworth, believe it or not, looking for his first base hit.
And the only one in the lineup without a base hit.
Did walk and score a run back in the 7th. A lot of break on that one. Former first-round draft pick at a Patriot High School in Riverside. Gatorade High School Baseball Player of the Year in California in 08.
Boy, just throwing him 2 nasty breaking balls. Let's see if he comes back with another one. Yep, kept moving it away and away each time.
Skipworth battling last year in spring training for a spot on the 25-man roster as a backup catcher. Missed out, sent down to New Orleans, but was called back up because of injuries, and he didn't like that call. 2 out.
Nope, that's just a good pitch. He kept going away, breaking ball. I don't know if he thinks it's low. It looks like he's got plenty of the plate. Just a nice pitcher's pitch.
Now Danny Black, native of San Jose, California, played his college ball at Oklahoma. You got to think the Nebraska fans around here didn't know that. They would have let him hear about it.
He's had a nice night as well. Couple of hits, 2 RBIs. Well, that's just a big breaking ball. It's not only breaking down, it's breaking across as well.
Drafted in the 14th round in 2010 out of OU. Another breaking ball. Giannis can't handle it.
That ball had so much spin on it.
Ruled a base hit.
Third of the night.
Third of the night for Danny Black. No. Take another look.
Take a look at this ball is really spinning. I mean, you can see it come off the bat spinning.
Well, you mentioned just about all the base hits have been solid. That one, just one of those nights.
And if he gets to it, I don't know that he has a play.
No, you're
'cause
right.
Runner on second had got a good jump.
Right field, Maxwell can't get it.
Uh-oh, we got
They got him hung up.
Yep.
Now the Storm Chasers have to do everything right. And that'll do it. So a base hit for Marsnick. But the Storm Chasers work their way out of the inning. They give up one more. They're down 10 going to the bottom of the 8th on a minor league baseball game of the week. Back in Omaha, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner, 10-run lead for New Orleans, and it's just been that kind of night for the Zephyrs. Kyle Jensen gets things started in the second inning with the big fly. Danny Black with a 2-run bomb himself to right. More in the third inning. Mark Canna goes yard. Next man up, Kyle Jensen. He puts a big swing on it. Josh Rodriguez with an RBI single. Christian Colon comes back with a big fly in the third. But in the fourth, more fun for the Zephyrs. Valdesman with a double. Runs just kept coming. The fifth inning, Colon again goes yard, trying to do his part to keep the Storm Chasers close. But in the sixth, RBI single by Canna. In the seventh, a 3-run job by Valdesman. And in the eighth, Zach Cox goes the other way. It's pretty much been all Zephyrs with the exception of Christian Colon. First time back after the All-Star game. And a pinch hitter once again as Pena has his number taken down. That's a huge fly ball, but Juan Gratterall watches it go foul. Spent last year at Northwest Arkansas. 6'1", 230. Born on Valentine's Day. Native of Venezuela.
Maracay, Venezuela, where I played winter ball.
Really?
2 years. Home of David Conceição.
So if I drop your name down there, they'll.
I'm big there. Yeah,
they'll perk right up.
Oh yeah, I'm big there.
Diaz. And there's one out. So now Brian Bocock trying to find his way on for the first time tonight. 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts. Fly ball to center back in the 6th inning. Bocock split time last year between Syracuse and Indianapolis. Part of a mid-season trade. Drafted originally by the Giants in the 9th round in 06. It was San Francisco's opening day shortstop back in 08 because of an injury to Omar Vizquel. Past Diaz. Bocock finally with a base hit tonight.
Yeah, just keep battling. Hits that ball right on the button. That saves an 0 for a night.
Yep.
Salvages something if you can get a base hit. Those ones you get the first 2 times up are as important or as the one you get the last time up. You know, sometimes you're having a bad night and you start hanging your head, and next thing you know, you got a real ugly week going.
Paul Janisch, 1 for 3. Singled back in the 3rd inning. If you're just joining us, Janisch Broke up a double play sliding into second, kept an inning alive for Christian Colon to go yard with a man aboard. Back when the game was still tight, at the end of that inning, it was 6-3. Once again, Evans trying to entice a right-handed hitter with soft stuff away.
He lives on that outside part of the
Yep.
plate, too. That seems to be his moneymaker.
Giannis, born in Houston, Texas. He has a long resume, which, as Doug has pointed out, includes a lot of time in the big leagues, but also struggles at the plate, some injuries. Game-winning hit in his first major league game and second major league at-bat.
Boy, I tell you, it's just these ball 2, ball 3 on just about everybody. Can almost tell you what his defensive friends are thinking behind him.
Hitters count for Giannis. Evans gets that corner. Mentioned that game-winning hit. First time a player gotten a walk-off in his major league debut since Miguel Cabrera did it in '03.
My goodness.
Reaches out. Nicely done by Jake Marsnick. Covered a lot of ground in a big ballpark.
Looked like there was going to be a collision
Yep.
there, but boy, he did a good job of getting to it.
And communicating with Danny Black in left field. Look at the ground they both cover.
Yeah, both of them look like they got a shot at it. Now he pulls off.
And you saw Black make a hard left turn. He could hear his center fielder. It's vital to communicate on that field and make sure your teammates know who's got the ball.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't do that, and usually injuries
I know.
will occur. But
Sounds simple enough, but sometimes it doesn't
it's
happen.
usually the first thing you learn when you start playing the game.
Now with Merrifield. Couple of base hits, a run scored, doubled his last time up. Merrifield with that great career at South Carolina. Part of a national championship team for the Gamecocks. Wound up 6th in school history at SC with 263 hits, 5th in runs scored. Merrifield advancing fairly quickly through the Royals organization, drafted in 2010, already making a bid for time in the big leagues.
He keeps swinging it like he is now. He'll get there.
His mother was a 5-time South Carolina state champion in tennis.
Ooh.
But her son struck out on a bad pitch. Good pitch for Evans. And the Storm Chasers strand one. We'll go to the 9th. It's a 10-run game here on the Minor League Baseball Game of the Week, CBS Sports Network. (10-4) New Orleans leading Omaha here in Nebraska. Join us next Thursday, July 24th. We'll be in Pennsylvania, where the Akron Rubber Ducks, that's the Indians affiliate, travel to Reading to take on the Fightin' Phils, the Phillies affiliate. Eastern League AA action on the Minor League Baseball Game of the Week, 7 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner on a gorgeous night in Omaha. Not a fun night for the Storm Chasers, as the Zephyrs have just pounded the baseball all over the ballpark, and a call to the bullpen once again by Omaha. That brings right-hander Michael Marriott out of West Hills, California. Spent last year with Omaha. 6 foot 200. There you see making his 10th appearance of the season. Couple of saves. 14 innings. Giving up 17 hits, but 21 strikeouts. So he's hoping an inning of work here.
And from the University of Nebraska.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who's coming to the game tonight. These Zephyrs have been swinging the bat.
Nope. They just go up and wait for their pitch, and as often as not, they've gotten it. Marriott has already made a trip to Kansas City this year. In fact, was up for 17 games with KC. 25 innings pitched, 31 hits, gave up 21 runs, 18 of them earned. Had 11 saves last year for the Storm Chasers. Valdesman to short center field. Giannis will make the grab.
Paul probably wondering, where's my outfielder?
Marriott last year with 11 saves, a team high for the championship Storm Chasers. Prior to that, had just 6 career saves in 76 games. So really grabbed that role of closer. Diaz booted by Giavitella. So a man aboard with 1 out.
Looks like they put Maxwell in center field and Peguero over in right field.
Orlando was taken down when they sent in a pinch hitter. There's a good look at Maxwell in center.
They've ruled that an error.
Yep. So now Canna. Home run, RBI singles, scored a couple of runs. What a big night. So many of them are.
Yeah, you see this many hits up on the board, and you go in and you're the one that doesn't get but 1 or none. You
Canna,
still feel good, but
yep. Canna now with 31 multi-hit games this year. He was 3 for 4 last time out on Sunday. And he's hit safely in 21 of his last 23.
boy, Barrett's got a good arm.
Since May 29th, Canna was 63 hits, 7 more than, or actually now up to 65. 7 more than any other PCL player.
Since when?
May 29th.
Wow. Boy, fastball came in 94 miles an hour underneath his hands. He does a good job just to get a piece of that one.
In the 3rd inning with 2 outs, and they were both strikeouts by Mortensen. Canna went yard, then Jensen. That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, he looked like he was cruising.
Yep. 2-2 pitch. Well, he really challenged him, didn't he?
Yeah, he just came with some gas. No messing around there.
Boy, belt high. Now Kyle Jensen. Interesting night for Jensen. Home run in the 2nd, home run in the 3rd, drew a walk in the 4th, and then caught looking in both the 6th and the 8th. More smoke. Marriott last year did not allow a run in the final 21 innings pitched in 2013. Gave up 1 earned run in 5 1/3 playoff innings.
Man, he's just rearing back and blowing right now.
In case you're wondering why they bring him in a game like this, just to get him a little work.
Well, yeah, I would say he'd probably come back with another one, just a little bit outside, more gas.
Which he does. Giannis goes the easy way, and the Zephyrs strand a man, and the Storm Chasers are down to their last 3 outs. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. 14-4. Back in Omaha, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner, where the Storm Chasers have a lot of work to do to catch up to these New Orleans Zephyrs, who own a 10-run lead here at Werner Park. Christian Colon leading things off. Already had a huge night. He's done everything he can. A couple of home runs and a single, showing why he was a first-round draft pick. 4th player taken overall back in 2010 out of Cal State Fullerton. Remaining fans excited, but stays in the ballpark.
Pretty good night, though, for the kid.
Yep. Johnny Giavotella drawn a couple of walks, scored a run, looking for his first base hit.
Oh, my goodness.
Not a bad pick by Rodriguez.
That was a very good pick.
Giavotella, I'm sure, thought, well, finally I've got one. Rodriguez said, no, I've got one.
That ball was by him, and he makes a nice play. Wow.
And it was hit so hard, he had plenty of time to throw him.
Oh, yeah. That is an excellent pick at third base.
So now Matt Fields. Probably heard from Peguero, who's in the on-deck circle. Hey, save me an at-bat. Fields with a double in the 3rd, walked in the 5th inning, 1 for 3.
Still staying on that outside part of the plate.
Why not?
I mean, he is as consistent there. He misses just a little bit off. Very seldom misses over the plate.
Goes off speed and does it extremely well. Brian Evans with a good performance tonight. Former 14th round draft pick. Trying to close things down.
He likes that for his out pitch, that sinker down on the outside part. You have to be very patient here, Fields.
That's strike 3. And he can't get him. So another strikeout for Evans. But on the wild pitch,
Keeps it alive.
so now Peguero gets that at bat. Struck out in the 7th inning when he came on to hit for Paulo Orlando with the bases loaded. Omaha loaded him up with nobody out, couldn't score.
Pitches down, a little bit too anxious.
Evans came on, gave up a double, then a single, then a walk. Proceeded to work his way out of that jam. A couple of strikeouts and a ground ball.
You know, games like tonight, when you're down like this, you still have to try to concentrate every at bat, every pitch. That one just got thrown by him.
Peguero not getting cheated.
Remember one night we had a rain delay and everybody left, and we came back and we were playing at 1 o'clock in the morning. There was nobody there. You really just have to suck it up.
Well, of course, at this level, everybody knows you're just one level away from the bigs.
That's right.
Every at-bat means something.
You're right. One injury away or one trade away. Oh, change up.
Pulled the string and got him. Zephyrs win it 14-4 and a big night for New Orleans. Doubles, home runs, and good pitching by that young man. Ryan Evans comes down and out of the bullpen and quiets the Storm Chaser bats.
We thought we were going to see a pitching duel tonight because both guys came in with pretty impressive records.
Great night for baseball in Omaha. Didn't go the way the home team wanted, and New Orleans has just handled Omaha this year. Just been that kind of season so far.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Reds playing the Cardinals. You Cardinals have handled my Reds pretty tough this year.
Well, sometimes it happens, but the great thing about baseball is, well, a guy like that, Mike Jerschley.
You're right.
And they get to come out and play again tomorrow. That's going to do it from Omaha, Nebraska. Final score, New Orleans 14. The Omaha Storm Chasers 4. For Doug Flynn, Lauren Gardner, our entire crew, I'm Dick Gabriel. Be sure to join us next Thursday, July 24th, as the Reading Fightin' Phils host the Akron Rubber Ducks, 7 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Our thanks to everybody here in Omaha for all their hospitality. Zephyrs 14, Chasers 4. That's it. Good night from Omaha.